The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
20.
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You ping.
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Sports Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. This program starts now.
Football!
It's wonderful, and obviously we got championship weekend and championship Sunday ahead in the NFL, and there's so much to talk about happening around the NFL, college ball. We got signings, we got coaches, we got general managers, we got rumors, we got this, we got that. We have a fantastic show today. Michael Lombardi will be joining us in about 20 minutes. He's currently the general manager for the University of North Carolina Tar Heel football team. How's life in college, Paisan? But also, he is a guy that's pretty plugged in basically everywhere around the NFL. What's he hearing, especially about that Raiders job? You know, Michael Lombardi speaks about the Raiders a lot because that's where you got to start. And I think he has so much respect and appreciation for the Davis family and everything that Al did for him and the Raiders as a whole. And what he's been seeing out of them the last couple of years, he says, this is crap. Is that he says that Raiders fans get mad at him. I think they hate him. But now his guy, Tom Brady, is one of the owners and running everything. So it's like, I feel like Lombardi's going to be pretty dialed in on what's going on there. How about all the other coaching hires? What about all the other general manager hires that need to take place? What does Paisan say about any of it? We will talk to him in about 19 minutes. I cannot wait to hear from him. Last week he had his hair a little disheveled.
He did.
Oh, yeah.
Looked like he was in the middle of it a little bit.
Yep.
FaceTime with him this morning. Feels like he's okay. Feels like he's found...
Back in it.
Yeah, he's found air. You know, he's back because they have a lot to do in a very short amount of time as they try to, kind of get used to the college football lifestyle. We'll be joined by Shams Charania in the second hour. Okay, basketball's happening.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It must be. Oh, Pacers are in Paris today.
Oui, aujourd'hui, bonne chance on Pacers, on Paris. You know, like there's a lot going on here. Tyrese Halliburton, king of Paris this past summer, as you recall. Didn't sweat one time, but he still walked out of there with a gold medal.
Sure. No big deal.
He was having a blast. Happy birthday, fifth. You know, the whole thing was happening for Tyrese Halliburton. Taking on Wemby in his home country. I believe Netflix is also having a docuseries released at some point about the Olympics where they go into the locker room of the French and the Americans and Serbians and everything like that. So I think basketball is kind of happening, especially internationally today, 2 o'clock on NBA TV.
Okay.
Everybody has that. Everybody has that. And I believe they're playing again on Saturday, and I think that one's going to be on ESPN. But basketball is happening. We'll talk to Shams Charania about the drama.
Yeah.
Have to.
Jimmy Butler down there in Miami. Remember, Shams came out and said, Jimmy Butler wants out of Miami. Okay, breaking. And then Jimmy Butler's agent says, Shams is the new guy on block. He doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
Tried to discredit Shams.
Oh, yeah.
Tried to bury Shams. Shams in a new location, a new network, at a new senior role. And this guy tried to bury Shams, and all Shams did was sit in the pocket and say, nah, my sources are good. This has been triple stamped, double stamped. Jimmy wants out of there. Then as it kind of unfolds, Jimmy wants out of there. And it's getting ugly. He talked on First Take this morning about how it's like a divorce. You know, right now it's just like, is this going to be a messy divorce, or are they going to figure out how to make this happen? Jimmy missed the plane. Happens. He was planning on showing up on his own plane. You know, it's nice of him.
Yeah.
He's been suspended 9 games over the last 2 weeks by Pat Riley and the Miami Heat or whatever. So this is basically a Shams story from day one, even though his agent and everybody else, Pat Riley even, I think everybody tried to bury Shams. Shams just kind of, stayed in the pocket, kind of taking it all, and now only elevated himself, which we're proud of Shams because we've known him since day one. He'll join us in the second hour. And then Daniel Jeremiah of NFL Network, Mr. Move the Sticks, a draft analyst and scout formerly in the NFL, now in the media world. He'll do the play-by-play of the Combine with Rich Eisen, will be joining us in a second hour. I'm going to ask him some questions. Everybody's talking. Talk stupid with your at Boss Connor and I touch me. One after the hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys, AP Tony's here. All the finalists for the awards that you voted on are out.
Yeah, they are.
36 years as a football coach, 18 in college, 18 in the NFL. Chuck McGowan's here.
Baby Chuck.
Chuck, everybody's talking about this Borgonzi quote and Brinker quote down there in Tennessee. Now, Borgonzi has been brought in as the general manager. Brinker is the president of football operations. Borgonzi is handling the draft and free agency. Brinker is the one that's going to cut it down to the final 53. They're very tight. They're on the same page. Brinker was on a local radio station with Ramon Foster and a few others, and this is what he had to say about that number 1 overall pick that they have. Are you going to trade it, or are you going to utilize that pick that you have down there in Tennessee? Here's the president of football operations for the Tennessee Titans, Chad Brinker.
Yeah, we got to look at all the options. But the one thing I will say, if there's a generational talent, you don't pass that up. You can't pass that up. And if we feel that there's a generational talent right there, what we call a blue player, a guy that is a franchise-type player, the player that tips the field in your favor every time they step on the field, like you cannot pass that up. But we'll also look at all the options, not only at the number 1 overall pick, but in all the rounds. I mean, we got to see what the value is. We got to see what's on the table. We got to, do what's best for the Tennessee Titans and helping us build a football team that can sustain over time. And I've emphasized how important the draft is, that the core of this roster is going to be built through the draft. We're looking at all those options.
Very interesting. He was brought in 2023. Callahan was brought in last year. Now the GM, Borgonzi, out of Boston's been brought in, this year. So everybody's at different times. Allegedly, Borgonzi and Brinker are on the same page. They'll be the ones creating the roster. What's that mean for Callahan? We shall see. But a once-in-a-generation type player potentially at number 1. Now, this has obviously sent ripple effects through it all, and we'll talk to Daniel Jeremiah in a second. Is that Travis Hunter is he talking about? Abdul Carter, who's the once-in-a-generation player that we're potentially missing or not thinking about? And how come every time they talk about quarterbacks, it's Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, insert name of quarterback, insert name of quarterback, insert name of quarterback, and there's never a Will Howard. What am I missing about Will Howard in this entire thing?
Ever since you told me to take a peek at him a week ago, 10 days ago, and I took a peek at him, and then I watched him, watch you guys on the Manning Cat. You guys crushed it again, obviously.
Thank you. It was good to be on
the numbers speak for the numbers speak for themselves.
Amen. Yep.
But anyway, I know you don't like any flowers being thrown at you guys. And
Thank you. Let's keep it moving. Yes.
But he was absolutely just incredible in that game, and he's played so well. And I don't know. I don't see it. He just the metrics were all there, right? He's 6'4", 235, 240 pounds, mobile enough. He can get out of harm's way. Quarterback runs, certainly accurate. Got the arm talent to make all the throws. Yeah, why not a big, smart, physical? I mean, and a dog.
Yes.
And a guy that apparently, like all those studs around him, like they love him. And they play for him. So that's the biggest thing, like generational talent. Brinker's talking about it like I got very lucky. No pun intended. When I got the job here in India in 2012. Andrew Luck sitting there, right? Yeah, we're going to pass on Andrew. No. Generational talent, to say the least, right? So if there's a guy there, and this may be the guy after they do the vetting process, I don't see why this guy, I think AP Tone, you got him where in the 4th?
Yeah, I got a couple times in the
That's what I'm saying. So we'll talk to Daniel Jeremiah about this.
So I don't know what I'm missing.
And me neither. And I've already set the table with Daniel Jeremiah, like, hey, I just want to let you know there's some heat coming. Because all you draft experts have left this guy out. I just want to know why. He's liked by his teammates. He's big. He shows up on the biggest stage. And he was on our show just cool. He's one of the lads.
Awesome, yeah.
He's one of the lads. I don't fully get it. Now, granted, Shedeur can spin it, and obviously his dad is one of the greatest football players of all time, one of the greatest athletes of all time, and we've seen him have to grow, and he's been very mature for a while. I'm not saying anything against Shedeur. I'm not saying anything against Cam Ward. He's played a lot of football, obviously, went down to Miami, changed their entire culture, and did a great job this season, and he led an offense that was very explosive. Not saying anything about Cam, but just a lack of respect at all for Will Howard. It doesn't make any sense, because he's being treated as somebody that's like 5'11". He's being treated as somebody that's like 5'10". Maybe he doesn't have the physical stats to be able to keep up with all the stuff he's been able to do on the field, but he's huge. He's gigantic. He can run. This one doesn't make any sense. And I guess it's going to be because he's surrounded by talent, but when he was at Kansas State his final year, he wasn't.
Yeah.
He was Big 12 Player of the Year. And that's over Quinn Ewers. That's over everybody at Texas. That's whenever, Oklahoma's in a Big 12. Obviously, West Virginia was in a Big 12, so somehow he won Player of the Year over everybody that was with the Mountaineers. It's like, this guy's a good player. He's played a lot of ball. Seems to be cool. I just want to hear from Dan Jeremiah. We'll talk to him in the next hour.
Well, and the surrounded by talent thing, like, sure, you can get that, but Shedeur Sanders, they're talking about Travis Hunter being that generation generational player number one, and Shadur played with him. So I don't know why that isn't a conversation at all when it comes to him. And I believe some of the other wide receivers for Colorado, they're pegged to be drafted, second, third round too. So they're great players. And then you think about Cam Ward, like sure, ACC, maybe he didn't go up against the best guys, but also he was thrown to, Restrepo. And Restrepo is considered to be
the greatest Miami. He has the most yards, most receptions, most touchdowns, I think, for a wide receiver in Miami history.
Yeah, and he's considered like one of the top slot receivers, And we've seen how some of these slot receivers, Lab McConkey, have done in the NFL. So it's not like he's throwing to slouches either. So it doesn't really make sense. But, that just happens with guys like that who transfer and then have one good year. And, you can throw Chip Kelly into that too.
He had 2 good years, though. That's what I'm saying. At Kansas State, he was like, he had Kansas State in it. And I guess the Big 12 doesn't get talked about that way, you know? I guess it doesn't. Even though Arizona State took Texas to the wire. Mm-hmm. It legitimately took them to the wire. They were the champion, came out of nowhere. BYU, I think, could have held their own against a lot of different teams. Big 12 obviously loses Texas and Oklahoma, and everybody thinks that they're a weaker conference or whatever. It's like, this dude was great at Kansas State. That's why Miami wanted him. That's why Ohio State wanted him. And then he goes into a system that is obviously more conducive for him to be a pocket passer because of all the weapons they have. He hasn't even really showcased his running. He started during the playoffs there, but like, I don't get it.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe because of the evolution of the quarterback and the quarterback play, and you see the Lamar Jacksons and whatnot, the type of offense that people want to run. Maybe that's got a little bit of.
But he can move. He can move.
But I don't see him moving like those guys move, like Lamar moves, and some of these guys running the RPOs and the read option, the zone read.
Agreed.
I see some quarterback runs, some traps, some powers. He's big. He can get the 3rd and 1s like Josh Allen.
Josh Allen's pretty good.
He is pretty good. Not bad.
Well,
Wyoming.
6'4", 240.
You also said it like them, like the whole Big 12 thing. Like he didn't play in that Big 12 that everyone's like. It's not like Texas and Oklahoma were in the Big 12, and he was the Big 12 Player of the Year. And also for all like the talent, you still have to show up. They beat 3 top 5 teams in a row when he was the quarterback. Like that. I don't know. I mean, I still think he's going to go to the combine and just absolutely light it on fire, not just in the interviews, but I think it's going to come out that he's a much better athlete than people give him credit for as well.
I think so, too. I can't wait to talk to Daniel Jeremiah in the next hour about it all. Big news today. All the finalists for the awards have been announced. Congrats to the AP getting that done. Congrats to AP Tone getting your votes in. Offensive Player of the Year is obviously a massive one because this normally goes to the person that isn't a quarterback because the quarterback normally going to win the MVP. We all assume Saquon Barkley is going to win this, but hey, could be anybody else. Could be. And Josh Allen not even being a finalist for the Offensive Player of the Year tells you a little something, too, about this entire voting process. Lamar Jackson, finalist for Offensive Player of the Year, finalist for NFL MVP as well, which is Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, Lamar Jackson. These are not in any order. These are just a list of the finalists. And then Defensive Player of the Year obviously was announced. Zach Bond getting in there. Shout out to him having a massive year. Myles Garrett, Trey Hendrickson, Pat Surtain II, and TJ White getting in there. And then Comeback Player of the Year. Also finalists were announced, and this is a big one. This is a conversation because Joe Burrow obviously injured, came back. J.K. Dobbins injured, came back. Christian Gonzalez
missed 13 games.
Came back. Damar Hamlin, I think we all know what happened with it within the last 2 years, I guess. It wasn't last season. Sam Darnold, though, was active, I believe, for 17 games last year. So he didn't have any injuries, any sickness, any death, potentially, that is also on this list within the last 2 years. But he is on the Comeback Player of the Year finalist list. So let's go to AP Tone. Tone, why do you think that is the case, and what do you think inevitably ends up happening with this particular award?
So this over the last 2 years, I believe it was Geno Smith, and then Joe Flacco. Neither of those guys were coming back from injury. They were coming back from, they just weren't playing, whether it wasn't good, they were old, circumstances, situations happen. We all know when Joe Flacco won over Damar Hamlin, there was a lot of people talking. Even Joe Flacco said, like, hey, not Comeback Player of the Year. Damar Hamlin's Comeback Player of the Year.
Yeah, come back from what? Ubering my kids
yes,
around his
exactly.
what he said.
So then there was the AP kind of put out earlier this year, the kind of how the award, the rule should have been taken. The spirit of the award is to honor a player who has demonstrated resilience in the face of adversity by overcoming illness, physical injury, or other circumstances that led him to miss playing time the previous season. Now, other circumstances, I guess you can take that however you want, but, a lot of AP voters took the spirit of the award, overcoming like an injury, illness, something like that, not just not playing.
But he's a finalist. I see him as a finalist. And not as many AP voters as we had thought decided to put the guy who didn't play just because he wasn't the starter, and then now he plays great into the comeback player of the year. You AP people, are you guys all on the same page over there? What's going on?
It doesn't feel like it. I'm not allowed to reveal who I voted for yet, or the top 5, I don't believe. But, I asked the AP about it and this, situation as far as Sam Darnold goes, and they said, everyone in the NFL is eligible for comeback player of the year unless you're a rookie because you weren't in the NFL last year. But we hope the voters, take the spirit of the award as how it should.
Okay, so we should assume with that message being sent multiple times from the AP that although Sam Darnold is certainly a finalist here, and Tone won't give away his votes.
No, he won't.
But as somebody who's been very lucky enough to ride alongside an AP voter, they've changed this year. Like, this is a this year change thing. So whenever the sports books had Sam Darnold as the favorite to win the entire thing because of how he's playing, they were going off what previous awards were like. People were taking their bets. Sports books were accepting the bets. You name it. And then once again had to come out and say, hey, what the voters are being told is it's not like you stink, now you're good again.
Correct.
It's like, hey, did you go through some shit and now you're back? So we can assume that's what the award's going to be and who it's going to go to.
Yeah, and I tweeted it out earlier in the year when I saw that he was a favorite. And like I said, I think the sports books, this is kind of misleading to people. A lot of people reply with that. Other circumstances are that he was on the Jets. The Jets drafted him. That's that's pretty big. Other circumstances,
classic
things like that.
I mean, the more we learn,
can't argue that.
the more we learn, it is
Rick,
tough circumstances.
I can't argue that.
Yeah, agreed. Brick Johnson comes in there, tells you stink. That's going to be tough to respond for.
Yeah.
It's like when you're playing Call of Duty and a guy in the lobby says something that hits a little bit too close to home. That's Brick Johnson football, And then I think Brick Johnson is a motivator. I think if we were to understand the story from the New York Times is athletic, he wants to celebrate people and everything. I assume he didn't just crush Sam Darnold, but I guess you could other circumstances into this guy was in a terrible situation.
You could if you wanted to not pay attention to the spirit of the award, sure.
But you have to. Like, this is a 2-horse race. It's J.K. Dobbins and, Joe Burrow. And I'm a Christian Gonzalez guy, but, like, J.K. Dobbins and Joe Burrow, unless I'm mistaken, haven't really won any All-Pro or anything this year. So, like, I feel like it's sometimes with these awards, like, they're almost, rewarding guys when they don't get rewarded in other places. Like, Joe Burrow had an unbelievable season. Is he really going to win nothing? Like, you would assume they're going to give him
There's a
something.
chance Saquon wins nothing.
Yeah.
There's a chance.
That's why, to that point, that's why it's like, hey, he's going to win Offensive Player of the Year because he can't just
Well, what if
win
Josh
nothing.
Allen wins the MVP? Then Lamar Jackson wins nothing?
Yeah, well, yeah. There's a chance.
If Lamar Jackson wins the MVP, which all Pro Football Writers Association of America has deemed Lamar Jackson the MVP.
Yes.
I didn't do enough research on how much that matches up with the AP. I should have. First team All-Pro quarterback, though, Lamar Jackson, which is voted on by the same AP people that are voting for the awards. So let's assume Lamar Jackson's winning the MVP. So Josh Allen doesn't win the MVP again. He's not up for Offensive Player of the Year, right?
He's not. Yeah.
So Josh Allen has another 40-plus touchdown year, has led his team again, he won 3 rushing touchdowns, 3 passing touchdowns, week 13 or
Against
14.
Lions.
First time ever that has happened to quarterback. Having the year he's having with the roster he's having, he's going to win nothing. He's going to end up with nothing in this entire thing. So
Maybe the Super Bowl.
Bingo.
Which he'd say, hey, I don't need that other traffic.
Well, just like Saquon would say as well, if the Eagles are able to do that.
100%.
How do you feel about these particular games this weekend? We went to NFL Plus Premium, NFL Pro, and found some of the matchups and stats that they think are worthy of being a conversation. Let's start with the NFC game here. Let's start with the Commanders taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. The Commanders led the NFL in scoring with 34 points per game in the playoffs thus far, while the Eagles are only allowing 16 points per game in the playoffs. Both teams have an NFL best +6 turnover differential in the playoffs, entering the NFC Championship game. How do you feel about this? What does this stat tell you? It says Commanders are scoring a lot, but the Eagles aren't letting people score. That's why they make it to the NFC Championship game, these people.
Yeah, but let's look at the last game, regular season, Week 16, Commanders versus Eagles.
Okay.
Down in Washington, D.C.
Okay. Yep.
I think that was 36-33.
It was.
The Commanders.
High scoring affair.
And he threw 5 touchdown passes.
Who?
Jaden Daniels.
Speaking of, Jaden Daniels is the first rookie quarterback to have multiple playoff games with multiple passing touchdowns, and his 116.2 playoff passer rating is the best by a rookie quarterback in a postseason in NFL history. Wow. This guy's special, man.
He is.
Him and Cliff Kingsbury seeing the field very well. Let's go to another one here. This one's about Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is averaging 162 rushing yards a game in the 2024 playoffs, which is the most by a player in a single postseason in NFL history. Some historic players in this particular run.
He went for 150 and 146 in the games against the Commanders this year. His over-under on rush yards in this championship game is 130, which is the highest over-under rush yards a player's ever had.
And here's a big one. Great stat there from Tone. The Eagles have the league's top-ranked scoring and total defense, including playoffs, entering conference championship week. Teams with the number one scoring and total defense entering a conference championship matchup at home are 4-0 over the last 20 seasons.
Jeez.
So it hasn't happened often, but when it does happen, normally very good for the team. You got a good defense, you're going to win games, especially whenever it matters.
Absolutely. Excuse me. I didn't mean to interrupt, but pretty good, formula this time of year is being able to run the ball, stop the run, and pack a defense, right? And Philly can do all that.
Okay.
To Tone's point, I mean, Saquon had 4 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns in each of those games as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Against the Commanders.
Run the ball, stop the run. That's what everybody says whenever it
run.
matters. Especially in Philadelphia this weekend, it's going to be cold. Not that Washington isn't used to that, but it's going to be bad weather. Can you run the rock? You don't have to put it through the sky, especially in bad weather. You can be able to run it. You're good. When the games matter, it's old school football. Always has been.
Yeah, and there are other stats about how the Eagles' defense held the Commanders to like 30-something rush yards or something along those lines. And when you think about Cosme, they're kind of starting guard in the middle of that defense or that offense, going up against the
Jalen Carter,
best D tackle in football, Jalen Carter. That's a huge mismatch for them.
Let's go to the AFC here from NFL Plus Premium Pro. The Josh Allen Patrick Mahomes playoff matchups have averaged 63.7 combined points per game. 5 points more than any other quarterback matchups that have occurred at least 3 times since 1950. They end up showing up in the biggest games, these two. The Josh Allen stats, although he's 0-3 in the playoffs against Patrick Mahomes, very good.
Yeah.
He plays very well. This is like whenever people were bearing Kirk Cousins for so long in the primetime games. Then you look at his stats, it's like Kirk actually balling. Just so happens to be playing against a great quarterback on the other side. Josh Allen, same situation here in the playoffs against Patrick Mahomes. Is this the year? Is this the year? Speaking of Patrick Mahomes is looking to join Tom Brady, 10, and John Elway, 5, as the only starting quarterbacks in NFL history to reach a Super Bowl 5 times. He's 29 years old. He's 29 years old.
Crazy.
Unbelievable. Josh Allen, after recording a career low, 22 design runs during the entire regular season. Josh Allen has recorded 8 designed runs for 35 yards and a touchdown in this year's playoffs thus far. Over the course of his career, Allen has averaged 3.8 designed runs per game during the playoffs, up from his regular season average of 2. Allen has also recorded 69.6 success rate. You get it. Whenever the games matter, they start running this guy.
Yeah.
He's tough to stop. And the Chiefs have gone 8 consecutive games without a giveaway, entering the AFC Championship game. That is the longest streak by a team without a giveaway since at least 1950, including the playoffs. Some historic stuff happening here in these playoffs this weekend, especially from the Chiefs as they look to do something nobody's ever done. Obviously win 3 straight in the modern era. Josh Allen's looking to do something they've never done in the playoffs, which is beat Patrick Mahomes. And Patrick Mahomes is doing shit that nobody's ever done by the age that he is. We're talking about history all over the place for the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, no question about it. Like you mentioned, 4-1 in the regular season. Josh Allen is, 4-1 against Mahomes, 0-3 in the playoffs against Mahomes. But to your point, you said, okay, he's got to go up against Patty Mahomes, Hall of Fame head coach and Andy Reid, right? Hall of Fame defensive coordinator in Spags. So there's Hall of Famers all over the place. And, who are you going to put your money on? Who are you going to trust in a game like this at Arrowhead in those elements?
AQ Shipley says don't think about putting money on that offensive line for Kansas City. Well, AQ says this Kansas City offense, this is what he's saying, not me. I'm just telling you what AQ's saying.
Well, he also had Philly's O-line, as 1 and then 6 all of a sudden.
Exactly.
Yeah. He doesn't really know
and
what he's
he had some teams that were ranked ahead, right? I mean, I loved the shot yesterday. He was unbelievable.
Great shot.
30 people, $500. I mean, beautiful. Great time of year for it. Taxes are coming, all that shit.
Yep. Agreed.
But he's crying about the flag that was thrown. On Dawkins, about the chop and the snatch.
Well,
can't do
his finger got caught in his finger got caught in this thing. It wasn't a grab.
But you know how these refs are taught, right?
No. Did not do. Don't call anything against you.
No.
Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly how.
It's a point of emphasis. A couple years ago, offensive linemen, the coaches are teaching. They're going to chop and snatch. So what do the refs do? If it comes anywhere looks like it, it's like roughing a passer. If it even comes close and it looks like, guess what? They're going to throw it.
Yeah,
They're going to protect these quarterbacks. And that thing looked like a chop and a snatch when that guy goes down
Guy's
like that.
finger got caught in the
Come
chest.
on,
man.
Coach.
I know what we're doing.
You slow it down and you have
What do you
the
hate the
angles.
O-line?
You have the angles that we have.
Who's we?
Who's we? The refs?
I'm
Got
with you,
a
Chuck.
good
Are you
angle.
a ref?
with
You
you,
had a
Chuck.
good. You had a good angle. I saw you
remember,
talk about it
he
yesterday.
spent a year with the refs, so he's always doing this
Oh,
shit.
it's we bullshit.
It's hard, it's all right. You guys give credit. We get it. It's
What
hard.
side are you on?
It's hard to play in the NFL. It's hard to coach in the NFL.
It is.
It's hard to everything in the NFL. That's why it's the NFL. It's the highest
Got a
level.
great
Harder in the
appreciation for
playoffs.
how hard these jobs are, and we all know what we signed up for. So there's going to be some criticisms at times. You're going to play really good at times. You're going to get a lot of flowers. And then you know what? You're going to play bad. Things are going to happen.
And some of
You
these
gotta
refs,
face
we don't know if
music.
they ever going to play good.
Yeah, that
Feels
was
like
even
every
the-
time they're on TV, they're bad.
Wasn't even the worst
Some of them,
call.
not all the refs. Go ahead.
The Chiefs or that call wasn't even the worst call. The worst call of the weekend was on the Commanders when, Dante Fowler Jr. tackled David Montgomery by his shoulder and they called a face mask.
Yeah, by his chest.
That was crazy.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. But hey,
that one, Chuck.
That head.
it's all right. The refs are trying their
But
best.
here's the deal, right? Replay assist. We're at a certain point now. This offseason is going to be a huge discussion with the competition committee and the coaches once they get to the owners' meetings. That thing will get improved. They're going to add some things to that so that they can go in and look at, like Will Anderson's hit, on Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
We all saw it slowed down, right? It hit right here, and he did this, where the ref is standing.
Flop.
He can't necessarily see no helmet to helmet.
Yeah.
But it wasn't severe. But the thing that replay assist can't do is they can't come in and talk about severity. Right now it's black and white. Did you hit him or not in the head and neck area? Period. Now they're going to take the next step and go, okay, let this guy get involved and say there was no contact to pick that up.
Well, we were hoping that's what they'd be doing this year, but I understand there's always steps to things. The NFL is like the Titanic, not that it's going down, but to turn that thing, it takes forever, and that is kind of the NFL's way. But this replay assist is a good advancement, I believe.
Yeah, but I also did read that, hey, they don't want to be doing replay assists in the playoffs because we need as many additional commercial breaks for, advertising.
Oh, of course.
and everything like
Greedy
that.
corporate
Exactly.
fat cats.
Exactly. We can't have them just, hey, let's respot it right away and keep playing. We need that to kind of draw out, go to a commercial, get another, big time sponsorship in there. So I don't know how much replay assist.
As we were watching, I think replay assist is only going to grow, hopefully, and hopefully that's not a part of the conversation because all anybody wants is them not to slow down the game.
Correct.
Which is why replay assist is so awesome because it's happening in real time. Like, hey, pick that thing up and you don't lose anything. How about that national championship game? 18-play drive to start that thing.
Oh, yeah.
10 minutes.
Yeah. Yep.
No commercial breaks.
Yeah.
I even said on air, like, hey,
they're coming.
they are on their way.
Yeah, right.
They are going to shove these commercial breaks, and they did. Kickoff, commercial.
That second quarter was like an hour and a half.
Oh my! It's a business.
I felt bad for y'all. I mean, I'm sitting there going, my God.
It was a lot of standing. Spanx had us, though.
Yeah.
Thanks
Spanx
to
had
that.
us. Joining
does.
us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who's going to be trying to get his team, that he's the general manager of, to the national championship. Will that be next year, the year after, the year after? We don't know, but we assume it will happen because of how big this guy's brain is. Multiple-time Super Bowl champion, current general manager of the UNC Tar Heel football team, Michael Lombardi.
It's always good to be here with you. It's always good. Great job on the championship game. That was a long drive. That drive proves that time of possession is meaningless in football. You can have it. It matters what you do with it, right?
Yes.
You got to be able to score. Look, the Eagle-Washington game, I heard you talking about it. The Eagles had the ball 36 minutes in that game the last time they played them, and yet they gave up 36 points to the Commanders, and they only had it for 23 minutes.
Yeah, and that's why, scoring defense matters, how many points you give up. It doesn't matter how many yards you give up. Red zone efficiency matters. Are you scoring touchdowns? Are you kicking field goals? Turnovers matter. Time of possession is just like, hey, dominate the game potentially, but did you do anything with it? Who cares? Let's talk about that championship game. We asked Bill, I think last week, after the playoffs, we said, are you watching these playoffs as like a coach now trying to figure it out or as a fan? He said, just watching as a fan right now, haven't really dove in. What did you learn from this college football playoff as you're trying to build a college football team right now? What do you need? What do you think you love? And did you really learn anything that might have changed the way you think about the team you're building down there?
No, I think it still comes back to, can you win in the fronts? Can you have good offensive linemen? Ohio State, with the injuries in their line, everybody thought the Tennessee game was going to be hard or the Oregon game was going to be hard. And yet that offensive line really did a good job. Credit Chip Kelly for what he was able to accomplish. And I think Notre Dame's too. Notre Dame's offensive and defensive fronts, I think that's still the essence of the game. And one thing I do have learned from being in college football is depth matters, right? In the NFL, you only dress 46 players. In college, you can dress 95 or whatever the number is. And I think there's a lot of teams that are even to start a game, but the depth and the overall talent on the second and third level teams as you're rotating becomes an issue, and then teams take over. And I think really you've got to have sound depth. And so the concept of paying one player or two players or three players like we think in the NFL and then going with the younger guys, that's not going to work in college. You're going to have really good depth to compete with those great teams from the Southeast Conference and the Big Ten and from the ACC.
I heard you put up massive money for one quarterback. Isn't that right? Didn't we hear that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like $8 million or millions of dollars for a quarterback. Did you hear about that?
No, we might have heard about it. If somebody offered him, I don't know, maybe it was the janitor in this building who offered it. I have no idea because I didn't offer anybody that kind of money. I think, to me, we're going to stick with the Patriot model. We're going to have a good team where everybody's going to be valued. And I think more than anything, you guys know this. You can't – the locker room has to feel a sense of contentment based on what you have earned. And so if you bring a player in who's not really played for your team and pay him more than some of the guys that have, based on just on hypothetical, you run into a little bit of a problem. So this thing goes both ways. You're going to negotiate contracts both ways. Sometimes you're going to give a guy a raise, and sometimes because you brought other players in. I mean, Bill did this all the time in New England. I mean, Julian Edelman got continue raises based on what other receivers they brought in because Edelman or Brady were the best players on the team.
Yeah, you don't want to disrespect your own players by bringing in somebody who hasn't done anything yet. Not that anybody's done anything for your program thus far, but when it comes to payment, there's professionalism that is around the corner, allegedly. Chuck has a question for you, Paisan.
Yes, Lombo, you talk about putting a value on your players. So we got the salary cap coming with this revenue share. I know in April there's going to be a vote. I know there's Title IX stuff involved. I've heard somewhere like 21 million, and then football is going to get the largest portion of that. Have you guys talked about that? Like if it's, let's just say hypothetical, it's 15. How are you going to divvy that up, and have you placed a value yet on your roster?
Yeah, I think, that's a great question, Chuck. I think you have to do it just like the draft. The draft is money, okay? When you say the guy is going to be an immediate starter and impact the team, that's a top 10 pick, and that top 10 pick makes X amount of dollars. And if you say the guy is going to be a potential backup player who could eventually start, that's probably a 4th or 5th round pick, so that comes with a value. And so whenever you have a salary cap, you have to have a value. And so if you're taking a young high school prospect who's very good, you're going to have to give them some money to entice them to come to your school, but there has to be kind of a ceiling on what you can give them. We're not like Jerry Jones. We're not in the oil drilling business. We're not hoping to hit a well or a gusher. You got to pay for performance as you go, right? And so there's going to be a scale. You come in, you earn this. If you start to play, you're going to earn more, and then you're going to earn more based on how you start. It's got to be, there has to be a rhyme and a reason to what you're doing. But if you randomly just give out, I'm paying this guy $750, I'll pay this guy $1 million, I'll pay, then all of a sudden you don't have any continuity within your program. And so that's what we're going to try to do. We'll bring young players in that we recruit, we'll pay them, but it's on speculation, right? And there's going to be a number. And then as they earn more based on their play time, based on their performance here at North Carolina, they will earn more. My door is going to always be open for conversations because that's the way it is. The NFL, we saw it this summer in the NFL. How many receivers redid their contracts based on what was going on around the league? Same thing's going to happen in college football.
Okay, the more I learned about Notre Dame through this playoff run and Marcus Freeman and who they're trying to build, what they're trying to become, sounds awfully similar to you guys. And do you sense that Notre Dame and you guys are going to be in the same players pool? And how does it feel knowing that they made it to the national championship in that kind of same world that you guys are probably going to be in?
Well, they've got such great tradition, but so do we here at North Carolina. We've got incredible tradition. Now, we haven't won an ACC title since 1980, but man, we have a lot of great players. starting with the greatest defensive player of all time in Lawrence Taylor, and then going to Julius Peppers. Not even talking about how many great players have been in basketball. They've won 23 titles in women's soccer. I mean, this is an incredible institution for sports, and we're going to follow that. We believe we have a national footprint. I mean, what Michael Jordan has done for the school, what the basketball program has done, you see this emblem on people's chest. You see our brand. It's a national brand, and so we need to be a national school. So we're going to be foot to foot with Notre Dame. We offer a lot. Now, they've got a history in terms of winning championships and getting there. We're going to have to increase our tradition there and get there, but we have a lot of great players. We have a lot of first-round picks. We might not have had great teams, but we're going to fix that, and we're going to recruit to our traditions. You know, you can't build a team without creating a sense of belonging. And the only way you create a sense of belonging is to look to your past. So we need the Jeff Saturdays. We need the Lawrence Taylors. We need all those Quentin Copels. We need all these great players that played here and dominated to be part of our program. Dre Bly. There's so many of them, right?
Yeah.
That have been here. Greg Ellis. They're all first-round. A lot of them first-round picks. We need them to build so we can walk into a home and remind players about North Carolina's tradition of great talent here.
Okay, so you took that a different way than I expected. I appreciate you going through that. What I was saying is the type of player, seemingly, is going to be same type of people. You guys are going to be recruiting a similar type of people. I think there's a few schools that are looking to do the same thing. Notre Dame, obviously, national champion finalist, and they're doing it the same. It's like, wait, like the type of guys I think that you guys will be trying to get pretty similar.
No question, Pat. I mean, look, we consider ourselves one of a professional organization. And like Notre Dame, we want smart guys that can get into school. Notre Dame has a requirement. Everybody thinks getting into school, if it makes it tough on the players, you're not going to have a good team. I think that's nonsense. We want smart, tough, dependable players. So for us, if you don't go to class and you don't work hard and your other things, you're not going to be a good football player. You know, you're not good in one area and then all of a sudden be good in another area. You've got to be a complete person, like North Carolina, like Michigan. Those national schools, they recruit that, and we want to be that kind of program.
How you do anything is how you do everything, you know, and how do you find those right guys is certainly going to be a part of the job. How do you retain those guys? Obviously a massive piece of the job. There is a full roster overhaul possibility in college ball. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Lombo, right now a lot of people are kind of complaining that the college football season has gone on too long. It just ended. A lot of people saying, hey, this needs to end by, January 1st maybe, because we have all these different, deadlines for the transfer portal. Now we're seeing a lot of guys, this last one here, Ohio State players and Notre Dame players entering the portal. Will you guys still be aggressive for some of those guys, or is it difficult because you had to flip, basically an entire roster, and then now you're kind of, the odd man out because you don't have very many spots left, even though, you are building this brand. A lot of kids do want to come to you, but you just don't have spots for maybe some of these kids from Notre Dame or Ohio State who would be interested in North Carolina.
Yeah, we're always going to save room, whether it's our cap, whether it's our scholarship, but we're going to go to 105 this summer. And once we go to 105, I think there's going to be a lot of teams that have to get rid of players at that point, whereas we at North Carolina, who are building our program, we don't have that many players at that level. The teams that have been doing this and have a great bloodline of recruiting going on, they're going to have a hard time getting to 105, and we need to be able to be there to take advantage of that situation. We have to look for all the areas of finding talent. I think that's part of what the NFL is about too, right? Bill Walsh used to say this all the time. During the season was the best time to find players because everybody was content. Off season in March, everybody was looking for players, so you were competing at a harder time. I think that's the same thing. We've got to be able to take advantage of what our situation is. There's not a claiming order like it is in the NFL, but there's going to be a lot of schools that have to get rid of guys because they have too many scholarships.
Okay, so let's pivot away from college. We're obviously incredibly pumped for you. Good luck there. Let's go to the NFL. We are hearing our sources, not you, but our source says, are telling us that Tom Brady, very much a part of, as you might be getting a call from him or maybe a recruit at this exact time, that Tom Brady is like running the show over there for Las Vegas for the hiring process. That's what we're hearing. Are you hearing the same thing? And what do you think? Oh, somebody needs you. You should answer that. Should you answer that?
No, I'm good. Don't worry about it. You got my full attention. Trust me.
Yeah, but what if that was a booster or a recruit? You never know, Lombo.
Committing.
You never know, Lombo. If you need to take a call, you certainly could do that. We don't want to hold you up. We heard Bill Belichick signed his contract, too, officially.
Hell yeah, Bill.
So congrats.
Put away all that nonsense about, we're going to go back into the NFL. Can we kill that for once and for all? We actually, I got a big shovel out this morning and I buried that. So that's a good thing.
Okay, good. So you guys signed your contracts at UNC. Things are good to go. But let's talk about, one of the reasons why everybody thought you guys were getting back into the NFL is because Tom potentially called you or Bill, who he's friends with and has a lot of respect for, to ask him questions about this hiring process. I don't think I guess I should have kind of expected this. I don't think I fully expected Tom to be running that shit over there. I thought minority owner, obviously he's going to be around, handshake, try to talk to the boys, let's do some strategy. But from what we're hearing in the interview process, that's his meeting that is kind of happening throughout the entirety. Did you know that? Do you expect that? And what do you think about the Raiders' job as a whole now that Tom is very much involved?
Well, I think Tom's never just going to put his toe in the water. I think he's going to immerse himself into it completely because he's so competitive. He's competitive to be the best broadcaster he can be. He's looking for every way he can improve, and he's never satisfied. The one thing about Tom Brady that I've learned is there's no mantles in his home. There's no place for his trophies because he's collecting more trophies. And this whole instance to immerse himself into football because his name is on this franchise along with Mark Davis. And look, Raider fans get upset when I say this, but they have not been very good over the last 22 years. And they need somebody like Tom Brady who understands what it takes to win and what's the culture all about and how he can bring that. Now, obviously, John Spytek, who they just hired as their GM, he goes back to Michigan with Tom. He was also at Tampa Bay with them. So there's some familiarity with him. And then I think they'll hire a coach that gives them they need some credibility, right? I think sometimes everybody wants the new bright, shiny object in the room, but I think a team like the Raiders, they need somebody who's got some experience, who can understand how they're going to navigate the next 3 years in the course. And I would think Pete Carroll would have a hell of a chance to be the next coach there.
Okay, we're hearing the same things around the coaching conversation cycle, is that Pete Carroll has a legit opportunity to become the Las Vegas Raiders head coach. Ben Johnson is announced as the head coach of the Chicago Bears yesterday or the day before that, gives a speech to the team, gives a speech to the building. What are your thoughts on Ben Johnson going into Chicago? How do you think it works out? Is this the right pairing for Caleb in your eyes?
Well, I think what Ben said is so true. Forget about analytics. It depends on how your quarterback plays, really more than anything on what you're going to do in the game. I thought that was really an important statement and a smart statement. Look, we know this. He's done an incredible job with the Detroit Lions and how he's been able to bring that team together with balance, with the ability to run and throw. Obviously, the season didn't go the way it is. But I think what he's got to do is prove he's now a head coach. He's not an offensive play caller. He's a head coach. And he'll get the right defensive guy. Look, they've got a lot of good players. They need to repair their lines. And if they can do that, then they can close the gap on a very, very good division. Kevin O'Connell got a huge raise, which he deserved. I mean, that's a good team. They're going to bounce back. Same thing when you look at Green Bay. Green Bay got hurt a lot. It was interesting. Green Bay, we're having so many rematch games in the playoffs, whether it's Green Bay played Philadelphia, Washington playing Philadelphia again. It seems like there's a lot of repeats, and that's a good thing because coaches can gain an advantage.
Yeah, I hope Kevin O'Connell didn't sign his deal before Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson allegedly signed for $13 million. That's what the reports are. I don't know how accurate reports are of coaches' contracts normally are. Kevin O'Connell, I mean, he could have went in there with a blank check.
Yeah.
He is so good. And then MCDC, obviously, he's going to have to recycle. Aaron Glenn gone. Ben obviously gone in the same division. It's like NFC North football is problematic. I mean, there are very, very good teams in there. And LaFleur's
Ben had leverage, Pat.
Yeah,
I mean, you know this as a negotiator. Ben had leverage. I mean, so Ben could ask for it. And the Bears, they needed to make a statement with their coaching hire. I mean, they've been through this, whether it's been John Fox, whether it's been, Matt Nagy, whomever it's been, they need to make a statement. They're taking a risk paying him as much as they are on a first-time head coach. But I think Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles, I think everybody believes that Ben's the right guy for the job, so they've got to go all in. Look, here's what I would say. The same thing applies to players. You can't overpay a great coach. You cannot overpay. If you hired Bill Parcells or you can't overpay great coaching. The problem you get into, like the problem with players, you overpay a good player, then it becomes a problem. But great coach, great player, you can. And I think Kevin O'Connell's great.
I think Jerry Jones said everything that has ever been worth it, people have told me I've overpaid for.
Mm-hmm.
So just whatever the case. Now, granted, he's overpaid for a lot of other shit, too.
Sure.
No doubt. It hasn't worked out. But the things that are great, keep them in your building. I'm happy the Minnesota Vikings are doing that. Aaron Glenn goes to the New York Jets. He played there. I believe Wilkes is going to join him as the DC. Obviously, there's early reports that he would be a fan of Aaron Rodgers sticking around and then maybe getting a younger quarterback. That all has to get played out. But there's a AFC South conversation taking place. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Lombo, Mike Borgonzi gets hired as the GM, and now a lot of stuff has come out. I believe the president of football operations, Brink, will have final say. Brinker, excuse me, will have final say on the 53-man roster, but then Borgonzi will be responsible for the free agents and the draft process. And then, of course, Brinker will report to Strunk. Not sure with Borgonzi. What does this say kind of about the Titans' whole operation? And then where does this kind of leave Callahan, just because he is the head coach? What is his role? Is he going to be involved, do you think, with the draft or anything like that? Or is this kind of a three-headed monster in Tennessee now?
Well, you know how I feel about committees, and they've never dedicated a monument to one. So this sounds like a committee to me. Look, I think Brinker's been running the team. I think even when Rand Carthon was there, Brinker was kind of in charge of pretty much everything. So he's going to remain there. And obviously his background is got to have to find a way to utilize his skill set as a guy who can draft and develop a team. I think the real question comes into what kind of team do they want to have? They transitioned into a Cincinnati Bengal team, and it cost Rand Carthon his job, essentially. They got rid of the big power back. They went to nickel backs and Spears and Pollard, and so their offensive line couldn't run the ball, and they're counting on Will Levis to be a good player. There's a lot of calculations that need to come true. For Tennessee to be good, they better make sure they're right about Will Levis, and that's Brinker's job to do because he was there when they drafted him. He's been a part of it, and I think that's ultimately going to be tied to what Callahan does. I think Cincinnati, if you copy their offensive program, you better be damn sure the quarterback's good because Burrow makes that thing go. It isn't the play design, it's the quarterback design and how he plays. So the Tennessee, in terms of all the moves they made in the past, they can blame them on Rand Carthon, but somebody else was signing off on him. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah, and what do you think about Callahan, Chuck? What do you think about Callahan, the coach's position in this entire thing?
Yeah, anytime you can tell right now, like these coaches are coming in together with a GM. Anytime it's one or the other, head coach in place, new GM, or vice versa, unless there's a prior relationship there, and just win, Callie. just win and win big.
Yeah, you win quick, too.
Been down that road.
Yeah, you have.
Been down that road.
GM comes in, not with you, new GM.
Lose a quarterback.
Yeah.
Don't have a Q. Lost a few games, and that was that.
Lame duck, Chuck, is what they were saying.
We'll hear everybody's on the same page, but there's a difference between being on the what Coach is saying is so true. What you find is everybody's going to tell you in Tennessee they're on the same page until they lose the game. As being on the same page is meaningless. Being aligned is what matters most, and alignment can only come from the GM and the head coach being tied at the hip. Philosophically. Now, they're going to argue and go back and forth, but they got to see the game the same way. And this is where I think most teams make many mistakes. I mean, Brett Veach does an incredible job in Kansas City for Andy Reid, but he's tied to Andy Reid philosophically. They see the game the same way. And so that allows you to find players because, remember, scouting is not about finding. Scouting is about eliminating. And so you eliminate players you don't want. You don't find players. You eliminate the guys that don't fit. And when you're not on the same page, you argue about who you're eliminating. And that becomes a rift within the building. Look, I think Tennessee went through it. They wanted a change to become Cincinnati's offense. I don't see how anybody can be Cincinnati's offense unless they bring Joe Burrow with them.
Yeah, and Joe Burrow obviously is a weapon, and we'll be excited to see what awards he wins, if he wins any awards at NFL Honors, up for Comeback Player of the Year, and I believe offense, whatever the case. Lame duck down there is such an interesting situation because you brought up Andy Reid and Brett Veach, how they're on the same page. And Brett Veach and obviously the Chiefs front office, we have that here. Chris Ballard came in from the Chiefs front office. Andy Reid, supreme commander there?
Absolutely. Yeah, look, and what Andy's so good at, everybody thinks when you hear Supreme Commander that they want to do everything. No, Andy Reid gets everybody aligned. It's what Bill Walsh did. Everybody was aligned. It's what Belichick does. Everybody has to think philosophically, this is where we're going. It doesn't mean we're not going to disagree on things, but we're going to be aligned on how we're going to get there.
There's seemingly no Supreme Commander in Tennessee, right?
No.
But
None.
Borgonzi said he and Brinker have great relationship and admiration for each other since 2009. Never worked together, but since 2009 they've had a lot of admiration for each other, right?
Yeah, just through the circles and doing what they do.
But this one has free agency and draft. This one has final 53, and then this one's got to coach them all. Okay, that's a lot of people that have to get on the same page.
That's weird.
Good luck. I think it'll happen.
This whole notion about who has control of the 53 is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. I mean, it's so stupid, right? You can only dress 46 players, right? And so what Ron Wolf did in Green Bay with Mike Holmgren is the smartest thing to do. He told Mike Holmgren, look, Mike, you got 50 players. You dress whoever you want. Joe Gibbs did the same thing with Bobby Beathard. But player 51 to the rest of the team, that's really for the personnel department to decide on who's got a future. So we can develop talent, but you're not going to hurt your roster currently. Like, I control the 53. I mean, seriously, that's just a power grab. I mean, those 7 guys can't dress anyway.
All right. Sounds like it's going to go great down there.
Yeah.
You know, Borgonzi is from
Everett, Mass.
Which is
great football town. A lot of history. A lot of great players have come out of Everett, Mass.
A lot of Italians, right? Over there?
Yeah, too many, some would say. But
whoa. See his shirt.
Some would say. I didn't say I did.
I just want to let you know. You seemingly said that was coming from your mouth.
I said some would say.
Okay. Last question here from an Italian. AP Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Lombo, the last Jets playoff win was the 2010 season. The OC at that time was Brian Schottenheimer. I believe he was up for some head coaching jobs at that time, never ended up taking one. And now 15 years later, it feels like if you read the tea leaves, he may be the Cowboys' next head coach. How do you feel about that move down there in Dallas, if it is Schotty?
I think Brian's a really good coach. I think Brian comes from a great tradition of coaching. His father, Marty, is one of 9 human beings who won 200 games in the NFL, and he can't get himself into the Hall of Fame. It's a complete injustice. Okay. And so I'm rooting for Brian to get this job, to carry on his father's legacy, who was an outstanding coach. I mean, Marty was able to win games, and Brian learned from him. And so I think sometimes when you kind of have this rise and all of a sudden you don't get a job, you kind of learn the essence of the job. I'm sure he's more ready to be a head coach now than he ever was. And I think it would be a smart move for Dallas because it would keep Dak in line. Plus, I know Brian understands how his father ran the operation. Brian knows that Marty was running pretty much everything. It was a philosophically aligned organization. I think it would be a great hire for the Dallas Cowboys. I really do. You know, people get so caught up in, well, what was his offense ranked? Does he throw the ball on first down? We're talking about leadership here. We're not talking about play design. I think Brian can be a great leader.
We had Schotty in Indy. He was on your staff, right?
Yep.
I loved him.
Me too.
What do you think?
I think he'd do a great job.
Yeah?
To all the points that Lombo just made, yeah. And I don't think Jerry likes major turnover. There's a lot of continuity that makes sense in keeping a guy like Schotty.
Especially at the age of 82. And, you know, Zimmer is down there on contract, we assume, for defensive coordinator. Zimmer and Schotty, I assume, have a good relationship, we would assume?
There was some rumor that Zim was contemplating, going back to retirement. He's got a farm, I think,
they
in
only
Kentucky.
Signed, Chuck, they only signed – everybody in Dallas was on a one-year contract. Zim came in on a one-year deal. They all did. So that, Jerry wasn't going to give more than – that's what took so long to hire a defense coordinator. So now if he wants to bring Zim back, I think certainly he could. But – Zim's a good coach. There's other good defensive coaches out there that Brian could hire as well.
Got it. So we don't necessarily know who's with who there. How about Josh McDaniels going back with Vrabes?
Oh, yeah, Supreme Commander.
I think that's a great hire by Mike. Josh does a great job with the quarterbacks. He's been there. He's familiar with the surroundings. He's won at New England. I think if there's anybody else but Vrabel, I'm not sure Josh could go back there because the Vrabel program is similar, different than to the Belichick program. And I think Josh is most successful when he's working in that environment.
All right. I got these cards, okay?
Yeah.
It's called Head-to-Head Football Trivia.
Ooh.
Go. Sam got me these for Christmas. I may or may not have forgotten that we got them until I opened a bag and saw a bunch of Christmas gifts in there.
Sure.
Okay, so you need to tell me when to stop.
Okay.
On you.
Stop.
All right. What did cornerback Darryl Green stuff in his socks, claiming they made him run faster?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know the answer to that. I thought when he was coming out of college, he stuffed weights in his socks because he wanted people to think he weighed more than he actually did coming out of Texas A&I.
Tootsie Rolls.
Coins.
Oh,
Tootsie Rolls. Here, this is second question on here. Super Bowl Sunday is the second largest food consumption day in the United States behind Thanksgiving. Is that fact or fiction?
I would say that's fact.
Really?
That is correct.
Wow. Over July 4th.
Next question. Over 67,000 high school football players in the U.S. suffer what each year?
A concussion?
That is correct. Sounds like they're trying to build a narrative.
Yeah, hold on.
I
don't believe that.
Throw that one out.
Okay, I don't like that one. We don't want to.
Hey, I'm just giving you the answers. I'm not judging it.
No, I don't like that it was in there. What is the name of the position player who lines up with the lineman but can also run out to receive a pass?
Tight end.
What is the name of the orange markers in each end of the corner of the end zone?
Pylon.
Who was
The orange markers.
Who was the 2020 regular season NFL most valuable player?
We know that.
Come on.
During COVID.
Tom Brady.
Nope. Aaron Rodgers, the king of
There we
COVID,
go.
was the MVP. We appreciate the hell out of you, Lombo.
Thanks, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Lombardi.
Yeah, Lombo.
Tough questions in here.
Those are some tough
Tootsie
questions.
Rolls.
Sam,
Who's going to get that?
D-Butts knew it. He texted it.
did he really?
Yeah.
He knew exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, that's too easy. What was the nickname for the St. Louis Rams high-powered offense in the early 2000s?
Yeah,
Great show,
great
sure.
show on turf.
Who has the nickname Eazy-E?
Edgerrin James.
Final answer?
Rapper from NWA.
Earl Campbell.
S-Y. Eazy-E.
Oh.
E-A-S-Y-E. Eli Manning.
That's not true.
Oh, because he's throwing a Big Easy.
Yeah, because he's New Orleans.
Exactly.
Have they got the snow cleared up down there? I don't know.
What, 10 inches yesterday in Florida.
In what year did the NFL have a team on the West Coast for the first time?
Ooh.
1949.
Okay.
72.
Okay.
68.
35.
Okay. 1926.
Wow.
I assume that's who, the Niners?
That's why I said
Oakland?
1949. Yeah.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Who? Yeah, no, that one's tough. When a referee puts both hands on his hips, okay, just like this, and then points to the team playing defense, what penalty has he just called?
That would be
Offside.
a neutral zone infraction.
Boom!
Encroachment. Yeah.
Offside.
Offside.
Who was the NFL leader in rushing yards during the 2020 regular season? COVID.
Ooh.
COVID.
Was Josh
Derrick
Jacobs?
Henry.
Bingo! Donovan McNabb vomited in 3 out of the 4 games he played in the state of Florida. Is that fact or fiction?
Fact.
I couldn't. It was too hot.
Yeah, too much soup.
Yeah, too much Campbell's. Also, with the humidity, can't do it. If all 256 regular season NFL games finished in a 7-7 tie, how would the playoffs be determined?
Coin flip.
Coin toss is the answer. That's good work. That's good trivia.
Those are good trivia.
Hour 1 wrapping up here on ESPN. Hour 2 we'll have Sham Sharania and Daniel Jeremiah. AJ Hawk, Coach Pagano is here. Are you going to give picks for these championship games?
Huh?
Absolutely.
I hope so.
How'd you do last week?
Sucked.
Not good.
No.
Absolute shite.
No, I think he actually did do well.
He took the dogs, I think.
Yeah.
And they all
3-1.
So Houston.
Yeah, he had Houston, Washington,
Washington.
the Rams, and Baltimore.
Rams was a push.
I want the opposite way on all of them. I want 1 and 3. So
I think I lost one.
Yeah, you did good. I did bad. But next hour's
And I picked Ohio State.
Well, we'll see you next hour. Now is a man who will be compared to forever whenever they're talking about GOAT conversations in the sport of football. That's because he won 7 Super Bowls, was consistently dominant for more than 2 decades at football. Ridiculously handsome. So absurdly handsome. An underdog story, too, picked at 199 of the NFL draft. Not a top 5 pick, not handed anything. And then what did he do? He went to work, did his job, became the greatest of all time, and now a phenomenal businessman and a great representation of the greatest league on earth. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Brady. Hell yeah,
What's
dude.
up, my man?
Tom, I thought this was all potential gimmick rip. I didn't know if you were actually on the show. I'm so pumped you were here. Hey, we love you, dude. We love you, Tom.
I appreciate it.
When you're 40 years old and you've won 6 Super Bowls and you're already being called the GOAT, was there anything to you getting to the point of just being, I'm tired of Bill Belichick talking to me like I'm a 23-year-old? Because that was kind of the lingering at the end of your time at New England.
There was so much people just trying to create some division that most of it was untrue, but it's just the way the world works. And naturally, I think division from within is a big problem in these team environments. And I don't like seeing any dysfunction in team environments. Obviously, my respect for Coach Belichick is pretty well documented. He was an incredible leader and coach for our team. And I tried to do my best every single day that I took the field. I knew that he did the same thing. And I think that's why I respected his coaching so much.
But whenever they talk about the Patriot way, that is normally the reason that is given, is like the Patriot way, the Patriot way, the Patriot way.
I've never used that term in my entire life. I think when people say it, I'm always like, what's the Patriot way? It sounds like the title of a book. I think what we tried to do was we tried to do things the right way. I think we tried to practice the right way and prepare the right way. What happened on game day was ultimately a reflection of what we practiced. And I thought we had great leadership from our coaches, and it filtered down to the guys who really drove the culture. We had so many guys that I played with over the course of a lot of years that really understood that, okay, I'm going to care about my teammates and I'm going to care about helping the team win.
There's a guy on our show who is a diehard Patriot fan. Boston Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Tommy, I have to.
What's up, Boston?
I have to start and just say thank you. You know, my whole life has been incredible because of the fact that you have won 6 Super Bowls. And, you know, I'm a loser every day, but I'm a winner as a football fan because of you and what the Patriots were able to do. So thank you. What do you think the new era of New England with Mayo is going to be?
Him coming back into coaching, I think is great for the NFL and certainly great for the Patriots. He's got a great understanding of how things need to be done. I think Gerard does an incredible job relating to everybody in the locker room, all the coaches, and I think he'll do a great job.
Going into the booth, are you utilizing the same thing, hearing what people are saying about you going in there? And how do you balance that while still being a human?
The broadcast going to be 5 years from now is going to be hopefully more improved than the one that starts on day one. So I'm going to go in there with the opportunity to start and learn, and I'm sure by the end of the year I'll feel more comfortable. I really want to be a great ambassador for the NFL and the game. I love the sport. I love the athletes. I love the organizations, and I really...
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
What?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Sports Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. Hour 2 of the program starts now.
Football!
It is wonderful. That's 36 years as a football coach, 18 in college, 18 in the NFL. Chuck Pagano's here at head coach.
Hey.
Chuck. The Talks at Tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Sweet sea turtles, pal.
Hey, thanks, man. I figure, you know what, it is cold out down there in Florida and New Orleans. The sea turtles are probably not doing too well.
You know, you used to just wear T-shirts. You remember that, Ty? It used to be like a T-shirt thing.
Yeah.
Now he wears these hoodies over top of these T-shirts.
Hey, look, it's cold out. I'm not afraid.
It's not cold in here, though. It feels pretty good.
Yeah, it feels okay. I'm still, when you wake up, and granted, 21 this morning felt like 50.
All the snow melting somehow.
Fantastic.
Even though it's still below freezing. I don't know how that works.
Get that sun out.
It's like the snow got sick of how cold it was.
Bingo.
And was like, you know what? It's not above freezing, but it's definitely warmer than it was. We're going to just fear. I looked out and saw grass, and I'm like, how the hell did I get grass? Did it go above freezing? And I looked, never. No, it's still very much below. I don't know how that works. I don't know science, but I do know it has been cold. I'm actually getting a little.
Yeah.
Because of the cold, I think.
It's that time of the year.
I think it is. Nah.
Fight it.
Normally during
brother.
football season is when I get it.
True.
The fact that college football, I guess we're in football season, but the fact that college football season ended and then immediately afterwards I get a thing, good timing.
Great.
Shout out to my body
Yeah.
for doing that entire thing. But I woke up this morning with a little, a little bit of that. And I think everybody's probably going to have to go through that.
Yeah, that's true. December, we did have a couple colds running through here when it kind of started.
Remember, we had people showing up sick and spitting in everybody's drinks.
Saying that they're going to quit soda and not. Yeah, I remember.
Oh, well, that's two different situations, but same person.
Yeah.
We usually
home.
get the reprieve, too, of like when we go do these games. Like you go to Miami and it's like, okay, we're going to get an 80-degree day here and we're going to be good. Everywhere we went, the weather was shitty and it was cold.
Woke up on my bus, 49 degrees. The generator died.
Exactly.
That's how National Championship Day started. That was 4:45 a.m.
Yeah.
Probably why.
Legit.
Actually, yeah.
I legitimately think that was the case. I might as well have just been sleeping outside, and it was cold as hell down there. It's been cold everywhere. We hope everybody's okay. Also, Southern California, still very much sending our positive vibes and prayers. I don't know how the recovery is going to go there. And then also North Carolina, everybody going through it. Just know that we love you.
Yep.
We love you.
Love it. Hang in there.
One half of the hammer. Dahn. Cowboys AP Tone is here. Tone, what'd you learn in the first hour? Anything sweet?
I learned a ton in the first hour. A lot of those NFL Pro Plus, Premium Pro Plus, Premium stats were unbelievable.
It's very disrespectful to do that to their brand.
As an AP voter, too.
Yeah, AP voter should have a little respect. NFL Plus is the orig. Then you get the premium version of that. You get NFL Pro. So it's NFL Plus Premiums. NFL Pro. Which is worth it.
The fact that the Chiefs haven't turned the ball over in 8 games, I did not know that was a thing. Oh, was it playoff?
No,
Eight consecutive playoff games, yeah.
8 consecutive games.
Oh, I thought it was 8 consecutive playoff games.
Yeah, they haven't.
8 consecutive games without a giveaway entering the AFC Championship, so 8 consecutive games, okay. And also,
Insane.
I believe if you go back to his playoff runs, too, I think there was some sort
I know Pat hasn't.
Yeah, in the division round, that was the thing, no picks. But then also, we don't have it. Josh Allen's had like the lowest percentage of turnovers in his entire career this year.
What an unbelievable run.
Follows the program.
For these dudes. Josh Allen's going to win no awards.
He's going to win the MVP. I think.
So you think the AP voted Lamar Jackson first team All-Pro quarterback, and then they said in the same exact vote, in the same exact time, they said we're putting Josh Allen over Lamar, though, for the MVP.
I think he should win the MVP. I'm hoping that he wins the MVP. Now, maybe he doesn't, but I think there would be enough people who maybe put Saquon 1 and then Josh Allen 2 because of the new ranking system.
You think like a voter eating people's votes.
Exactly. The point system.
The independent party has come in and really affected.
Especially if there's some absolute doofuses voting for Sam Darnold to win Comeback Player of the Year. I'm sure that there were some.
You're talking about people in the AP?
Yes. Completely not understanding the spirit of their own award. But again, that is beside. And even DeMar Hamlin, I get it, but this is the previous season. What happened to him was 2 years ago. Unless we want to do a handout award again, that's also possible.
Be named after him.
But I just personally think Josh Allen should squeeze it out because Lamar's team.
I understand. You're saying if you had a vote, that's what you would do.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're okay. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, we're trying to say like what we think.
No, I know. That's what I mean, I think people might have put Saquon 1, maybe Josh 2, Lamar 3, and a couple.
And then they
voting.
put Lamar first team All-Pro quarterback.
Yeah.
Over Josh.
Some people. I don't know how those votes.
How many are there? 50?
50.
I guess there can be a lot of.
That's what I mean. If you get 30 people that have.
You know, Vinatieri was in that top 100, first kicker ever to get in there. I voted him the number 1 player. How many points did he get?
Probably couldn't.
Yeah, a bunch.
From the number 1 player. Like, I went to the Pro Bowl, first time I ever got to vote. They're like, put your top 10 players in the NFL or whatever for this top 100. I put Vinatieri at number 1. I said, every time he walked on the field but one time this year, he scored. Is that the purpose of the game? I don't know. You tell me. Is that what we're trying to do? Are we trying to score? I think he's the best player in football. So I put him as the number 1 player in football. Yeah. I couldn't even fathom how many points he got off of that. He ended up being like number 70 or something. 70s.
I lost a lot of sleep during my 6-year tenure, but it wasn't because of Adam.
Ever.
Yeah,
we should have had that perfect season. That sucks. We missed one against Tennessee. Second to last week, maybe. Had a perfect season going. Extra points and field goals. Rolling. Only been done once before. Gary Anderson, I believe, in Minnesota Vikings. Then he ended up missing a kick in the playoffs for them to lose a game. That was his first miss of the year, and people wanted to kill him for it.
Oh, yeah.
First kick. Get this guy out of
He
town.
still broke the points record that week, though, right? Down at Tennessee, because we gave him a game ball, and I fucked it up. I said it was points for this, and you got no, coach. It was like all-time leader in point. Oh yeah, that one too.
No, it wasn't all-time. It wasn't all-time leader. I know that because I wasn't around for that. I was literally thinking about just staying to be there for the all-time leading scorer record.
God, I wish you would have.
I'm pretty happy with what the decision was made, and I think Vinny ended up making it out pretty good.
I tell everybody, you mapped this out when you came in and said, "Hey, I'm done." I said, "What?" And I said, you could kick for another 20 years, Pat?
Yeah.
And you go, here's what I'm doing, coach. Bop, 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 bop. And lo and behold.
It didn't have a church in there. Didn't have the Thunderdome in that particular idea. But
it was pretty close what you told me.
It felt like there was a easily seeable kind of path. Felt like
you had it.
A lot of work was going to have to happen.
Vision,
But with that being said, I almost stuck around for Vinatieri to be all-time leading scorer, so I wasn't there for that. So there was probably some other record that he broke. I also do appreciate and remember you panicking one time because Vinny didn't even get on the field one game. So, like, consecutive starts.
Yeah.
Vinatieri had this consecutive starts record that was just like
nuts.
Whatever it is. Like numbers that will never be eclipsed. One game, we got shut out completely. So Vinny didn't even get on the field. So Chuck, like, with a minute left in the game, I think he's talking to Conte, he's like, do we need to put or appearances in game? Do we need to put Vinny in this game? Like, just at some point, do we mess something up? They're like, no, since he never went on the field, it doesn't count. Doesn't count as a game or something. He was like,
God,
sweet.
When you guys came up to me with that, it's like the game. It
was like a minute left, and we were getting
we got
smoked.
beat, whatever.
Get him in the
at least
slot.
Vinny's good.
Yeah.
His record's good.
Yeah.
I may get run out of town for this loss, but Vinny's good.
Yeah, that was those things are. I mean, when you're talking about history,
yeah,
there's a lot of ways to handle that, and coaches are right in the middle of it all. But Vinatieri was so sweet. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah. Should be.
Isn't that crazy? As a kicker, he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. There's some people, I guess, that do the voting that don't think a kicker should ever be a first ballot Hall of Famer. So they'll be battling against it in the quiet rooms or whatever the case is. But it's like, if anybody was ever to be, he would be the one, and we're pulling for him. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. Ladies and gentlemen, national champion, A.J. Hawk.
Yeah, Hawker.
Hawker, how you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Yeah, fantastic. We're chit-chatting about all these awards. Obviously, you and I both are guys that didn't win a lot of these awards. So maybe throughout your life you did. I did not. I was runner-up for Male Athlete of the Year at my high school. I think I was the only person that could have had scholarships in 3 different sports. Didn't win it, Mike McKee.
Who won it?
Mike McKee, who I have a massive respect for. He went to Kent State to play basketball. Guy had a silky McKee 4-3. I mean, he was awesome. I love Mike McKee. Have no beef with Mike McKee, but certainly could have had a scholarship in 3 different sports. Plum isn't like a factory of things. I think I probably should have been Male Athlete of the Year. It kind of forced me to go to this thing. Didn't win it. All right, fuck these people. that entire thing. Go down senior year of college. Come down this award show in Orlando. You're going to win the Ray Guy Award, Do the whole song and dance. Go get a suit that you can't afford. Do the whole, have your dad miss work, your mom miss work. It's going to be fun. Come down here. Some guy that only had like 15 punts on the season wins the Ray Guy Award. It's like, okay, it's bullshit. I hate this thing. Then there's numerous other times where, so I'm an anti-awards guy, strictly because of my life with awards. But with that being said, these things mean a lot to legacy. These things mean a lot to the future of how people are viewed in their time. What are your thoughts on all the finalists that have been mentioned, and what are your thoughts on awards as a whole, AJ Hawk?
Man, that's a good question. I guess it always how many people are voting on them, I think, is a big thing. Some awards, there's like 20 people that vote for them. I think in college and different things, which seems crazy to me. I think 50 is a decent number for like Tone and the AP voters. But you're right. Like if Lamar is AP first team All-Pro, right, from the AP, how would he not be the MVP voted on by the same people?
Well, what Connor's saying is that Saquon Barkley might steal some of the votes. Independent party in here coming in to eat up some of the votes from the one particular party. So he's saying maybe that'll benefit or help out Josh Allen in this entirety. What has been proven over the past is the quarterback that's first team All-Pro is normally the MVP. That is normally they go hand in hand. But because Saquon had such a great year, they're thinking maybe there'll be other votes going other places, is what Connor's kind of spinning.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if this is the first year, Tone, maybe you can say, even though it was your first year, is this one of the first times they've done like the list 1 through 5 who the MVP is instead of just write in one name?
I believe it is, and the only way I know that, and we'll say this because JJ brought it up on our show and said it was one of the first. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know.
Yeah.
I could ask and find out. But.
And so because of that, I think people might have put like Saquon 1, and some people would have Josh 2, and then Lamar, versus having like Lamar have the most. Because if it was just one name, yes, I would think Lamar would win it. But just thinking about, especially after seeing who some people voted for the comeback player of the year, like I would assume there is going to be some final tally, very close race to it.
Maybe if Josh Allen is asked to donate like a weight room back to the NFL someday, he can say almost MVP weight room.
Boom.
Like I was going to do a plum. They asked me if I could donate a weight room. Do I want to title it? I said, call it Almost Male Athlete of the Year Weight Room or whatever. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, put it on the wall. They're like, okay. I'm like, don't do that. But just know that I've never forgotten. I've never forgotten. It's not the kids' fault, but it is something I think about. The awards are so interesting, man, because then you have to take into account who's voting. Like, do I want to put enough stock into this person's opinion to actually care about it? But players do, mostly because whether or not you're going into the Hall of Fame, whether or not you're being talked about as one of the all-time greats. I mean, old buddy there is still pissed at Brett Favre for laying down for Strahan against the sack record because he wasn't able to sign autographs and make money. I mean, there is. These awards mean something. They actually do. I hate that they do. I think it's good that we celebrate people, but they legitimately matter whenever you're talking about who matters in the history of the league.
Yeah, and I tried taking it as seriously as one possibly could because I know it means so much. And I tried using, I used every single resource that I could. I talked to all players at the positions with the voting and coaches and things like that. So, hopefully you take it right. And if you don't take it right, if you don't do it right, kick you out.
Thanks for your service, Tone.
Hey, baby, Tony.
Tone, are you on a 1-year deal? Sorry, you're on a 1-year contract. If you don't do a good job, they boot you?
I believe so.
Yeah, we had a conversation with the AP this morning. Turns out not everybody was thrilled that Tone got an AP vote from what we've been told, but what Tone has exhibited this year is nothing but full-on research and effort to get it right, so we appreciate your representation of this program, Tone.
Yeah, and hopefully I'll be back next year.
Hopefully you will be, because you know what? They need you.
Bingo.
Especially because there's people putting Sam Darnold in comeback player of the year whenever they're like, no, that ain't the rules anymore. So I don't want to hear it from these AP people.
Yeah, same with DeMar.
Yeah, bingo, like DeMar.
Well, and he's up there because they knew they messed up a year ago with Joe. And Joe was the first one to say, Flacco, I don't deserve this. It should go to DeMar. And so DeMar's up there now. So, okay, we screwed this up a year ago. So 2 years later, can we make it this year?
A lot of AP people, they don't like the grandstand, right? That isn't like their thing. That's not like the
Ah.
Associated Press or media's thing, right? To do that?
Sure.
I don't think so.
Well, the Pro Bowl, remember the Pro Bowl?
Year.
It's just a popularity contest.
Which one?
Pro Bowl back in the day.
Well, Pro Bowl still, you know.
Like you get grandfathered in. Once you get grandfathered in, you could miss half the season and they'd still put you in.
Especially at offensive line positions, which we can ask AQ Shipley his thoughts on it all. I mean, he would probably echo my sentiments on a lot of these things. But nonetheless, congrats to you. Thankful for you. Congrats to the NFL as well. It is a powerhouse. Have you seen what the projected salary cap is for next year, AJ?
I have not. No, what is it?
Projected salary cap next year, $275 million. Now, here is the salary cap growth since the year 1994, okay? Not that long ago. 1994, I was 7 years old. $34.6 million is how much you were allowed to spend on your entire roster. Then obviously you see the growth. 2010 was an uncapped year because there was a CBA lockout. There was no agreement, so they could have spent whatever. That was an uncapped year. 2020, obviously, you see it go down. That's because they weren't able to have anybody in the stands. But if you look from like 2013 to like 2025, the growth of this league is unbelievable. The amount of money going out to players, significant. Now, how will it continue to grow? How do they continue to expand? Well, if they add a game and add a bye week, that's 2 more weeks of primetime games that they can sell to these new streaming devices. That's 2 more weeks of concessions. That's 2 more weeks of merch. That's 2 more weeks of ticketing. That's 2 more weeks of money, which is probably what they're going to sell. $275 million is the projected cap for next year. And in 1994, it was $34.6 million. Big shout out to all the players and coaches that have put this league on their back. And, made it a very profitable business. Yeah. We appreciate the hell out of you.
Hell yeah.
Chuck, what do you see here? Because in 2013, $123 million salary cap was huge. People were like, holy shit, $123 million in a salary cap. Now, $275 is the projection. That is absolutely insane. Now, the 2023 to 24 jump, 224 to 255, they're saying that's like a make good from the 2020 jump. 2020 had a downfall because there was no tickets. Remember, they had the cardboard people in the stands, and they said there's going to be 30,000 cardboard members in the audience, and there's going to be 10 actual members in the audience. So there's going to be 30,010 people at this particular game. It's like, that's not how that works.
Come on.
So the salary cap drops a little bit, but then it finally catches up in 2024. Now it's off to the races. What a league, Chuck Pagano. What is your biggest takeaway as you look at this graph?
You'd look at, it was just, $8-10 million a year, pretty much. Then you talked about COVID where they missed, and then these huge jumps, even 2024 to 2025. What is that, 20
million?
$20 million, right? Yeah, I mean, it's incredible the way this league. We didn't know any better. Like in 2011, when I was at the Ravens, like 120 million, and again, we weren't paying quarterbacks 60 million a year, or what we're paying them now. So
yeah, but as that salary cap has gone, that's where quarterback contracts have gone as well.
Bingo.
You know, in the new CBA that was negotiated there during that lockout, and then obviously post that, the new CBA had like a veteran min. If you've been in the league for at least 5 years, here's what your veteran min is. Rookie min is like half of that. And what ended up happening is quarterback money went up, and then the veterans actually started getting cut because all the rookie mins would be the case. So there was like some backwards effects that they thought it was going to be. So much money, AJ. So much money. Now, granted, players are always going to want more, which I hope happens. I hope players are going to continue to get more. The league's obviously going to want more. But $275 million split 50-50 amongst the NFL and the players for the salary cap. You can build a good team there, AJ. You can build a good team down there.
Yeah, I can imagine you better be able to build a good team with that much cash. But do we know how much or what this chart would compare to, say, like the NBA and their salary cap or other professional sports?
Interesting. We have not done.
I wonder how are theirs trending in this direction as well?
Yeah, and obviously we have 53-man rosters and everything like that versus the NBA, who has 15 guys on there. So per player, I think we would have to do a lot of, like kind of get it accurate.
Or to see if theirs is going up as much as the NFL, like each year after year, or do they continue to grow?
Yeah, theirs is definitely on like a per year basis. Like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, same team. They both signed damn near, or one of them did sign a $300+ million contract. The other was right on the line. And then they're talking about SGA, Oklahoma City star, who I don't believe has had his super max yet, but they're saying he might be the first ever like $80 million a year player. So I think as far as money-wise goes, they're close just because, like Pat said, 15 players. But yeah, I guess here it is right here.
Guaranteed as well, though. That's a big difference.
Guaranteed is a massive difference.
Yeah, and I mean,
this is where the luxury tax in the NBA.
I sent a graph in.
Yeah, $58 million there. It's $140 million now, so it looks like it's going up. You go down to 2010 to what it is 2024. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who might know, senior NBA insider for ESPN, the ever handsome Shams Charania.
Yeah, Shams.
Shams, you look super.
We bring the boom. That's all I got to say. I saw the video that you did. Shout out to them.
Come on.
All right. I'm happy you got your gimmick in.
Reset.
All right. I'm happy you got your gimmick in. I like the leather jacket. Hey, I like what you're doing here, Shams. We just did a graphic on the NFL salary cap and how the projected next year is $275 million. The only thing we ever talk about with the NBA is the fully guaranteed contracts and how seventh man on the bench is making more money than starting linebackers in the NFL. Is the NBA salary cap climb like this, or how does it work each year?
Yeah, I mean, I think next year is projected at around 154 salary cap. I mean, Luka Doncic this offseason is going to be eligible for, I believe, a 5-year, $350 million supermax contract extension. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander similarly is going to be eligible for a massive supermax as well. Nikola Jokic, I mean, there's going to be a point in time here where $80 million per year, $90 million per year, and dare I say $100 million per year at some point. I'm not saying that's going to happen in this decade, but the way the numbers are escalating, I just remember, when guys like, Eric Bledsoe, Derrick Rose, players, 10 years ago were signing max contracts. Their deals were $70, $80, $90 million. These super max contracts are much higher now. So I think we're only going to see it escalate, and obviously the TV money is going to be flushing in as well.
Especially with the TV rights doing what they're doing. Now they're going to have to get the ratings back, and maybe when football ends, it'll go through the roof. But also, seems like there's a fascination with the NBA right now, especially revolving around a story down there in Miami that you reported on early into your tenure at ESPN. You're a senior NBA insider. You have to go into another team's world. Okay, Woj retires. Mm-hmm. We know the Woj bomb, Shams bomb history. We understand all that. You come into ESPN, senior NBA insider. You have news on Jimmy Butler. You say, hey, Jimmy Butler's trying to get traded out of Miami. Everybody tried to kill you. Jimmy Butler's agent tried to kill you publicly. Pat Riley tried to kill you publicly. Other insiders tried to kill you publicly. And here we are, about a month later, 6 weeks later, and it seems like it's at a boiling point with Jimmy Butler in the Miami Heat. What's happening down there? I know you talked about it earlier on First Take, where you said it's basically like a divorce. Is it going to be messy? Is it going to be quick? How's it going to work? What inevitably happens with Jimmy Butler in the Miami Heat? And also, congratulations, Shams.
Oh, yeah,
sitting in the pocket as everybody tried to tear you down in this thing.
You stick to the facts and you trust in the reporting. And I knew the truth of the situation. And sometimes you can't fully report what you know. You can go with what you have right now, and then you let things play out the way they're supposed to, because this stuff is all fluid at times, and things can change, things can move quicker. The Heat, there was a world the Heat could have, when they initially started listening to trade conversations in December, they could have eventually traded him. But as his trade desire became more known with the Heat, we saw Pat Riley come out with a statement: we are not trading Jimmy Butler. And that was at a point where I think the Heat were still trying to figure out a way. How can we get Jimmy Butler back engaged with this team? He had taken about 2 weeks off from play in mid-December for an illness and reconditioning, as they called it, quote unquote. But he made it back, and there just wasn't that same level of engagement. And the stats, there's some stats that you can point to that show that his touches, his dribbles, the amount he's running it's not the same. Like, something is off with Jimmy Butler.
He's not trying. He wants out of there.
He requested
this
a
is
trade.
classic NBA. This is classic NBA. This is what it is, right?
He requested a trade earlier this month. He told Pat Riley to his face, "I don't want to be here." He told Mickey Arison and Nick Arison, the Heat owner and team CEO, to their face that he wants to be traded. And still, the Heat are listening to trade conversations. They are engaged with multiple teams. There is no Jimmy Butler deal yet. So when two people are in a relationship that they probably don't want to be in, what we're seeing play out is a divorce in real time. And the longer it continues to go, I think the nastier it gets, the uglier it gets. But the Heat also can't just trade Jimmy Butler to say we're trading him. They want to get some value for him. This is a guy, Pat, 5 years in Miami, Jimmy Butler has spent there. And this is after LeBron James is gone. This is after Dwayne Wade is gone. And he leads them to 2 NBA Finals runs, another Eastern Conference Finals berth. Over the course of 5 years, they had tremendous postseason success. And obviously he was behind a lot of that. He did not get extended in the offseason. He didn't get the respect, I think, that a lot of people in that position probably do get. And we're seeing right now how the season is playing out. Pat Riley called him out after the season, and I think everything has kind of escalated since that point.
Pat Riley kind of called out everybody down there, right? Durability is question, and Jimmy Butler's leadership. I think like everything kind of got called out publicly by Pat Riley, who's known to run a tight ship. That's kind of the way the Miami Heat are known about. So will they handle this like other teams have handled it in the past when their superstar wants out? Let's make a deal done by any means necessary. I know they suspended him twice within the last 2 weeks for like 9 games. He missed a flight. I assume he was going to take his own in its entirety. How does this end between Jimmy and Miami, and how easy is a deal to make? Because we've seen shit like this in the past. Superstars want out, bang, let's get him out of here no matter what the cost is. Is that how this is going to go in Miami?
I mean, listen, there's 2 weeks before the NBA trade deadline on February 6th. And until that point, I mean, usually deadlines create urgency. And right now, the Heat, from the teams that I've spoken to, they're not operating with tremendous urgency, but they are engaging with teams. But they have a price too, and they have a price that they want to trade Jimmy Butler for that hasn't been met yet. I think they're going to continue to be active because this is the reality of the situation. Eric Spoelstra, Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, this whole situation has really turned into a battle, a war, whatever you want to call it, between Pat Riley and Jimmy Butler. They're two massive alphas in that Heat organization, probably two of the biggest alphas in the NBA. When you think about the legend that Pat Riley is, and we know Jimmy Butler, he's come from nothing. He's come from a player that was unranked, played at JUCO, went to Marquette, got drafted in the first round, came up as a really, was supposed to be a utility 3-and-D player, turns himself into a max contract player, an all-star player, a player on the verge of championships in the NBA, leading teams to NBA Finals runs. And so they're both very prideful, and this relationship is over with as far as where they're at. I don't think you're going to put the genie back in the bottle, but the reality is the reality. He's under a $49 million contract right now. He's got a $52 million player option for next season. And so if they can't get what they want, what do you do? And that's the question Pat Riley's going to have to wrestle with.
Well, the only reason why I just assume it's going to get taken care of is because the NFL conversation about the NBA is we're not turning into the NBA. Guys sign contracts. They don't want to be here. too bad. They got to be here. The NBA, I think it goes back to like James Harden, obviously.
Yeah, fat suit.
With his moves. Yeah, fat suit, going to Vegas, doing his thing. Then he had a hamstring in Brooklyn or whatever. Then he goes over to Philadelphia. Then he hates that guy, gets bottle service. He hates that. And James Harden just won. We're talking about a lot of superstars in the NBA have kind of forced moves.
He did something very similar. It was very similar the way it happened in Houston, where you never want to say a guy's not trying because you just don't know for real. But you know what you saw from the guys before, and James Harden in Houston. But I think there is something to say. If a guy isn't fully engaged, if he's not happy where he's at, it's hard to put forth that level of effort. It's hard to be fully engaged with the team. And I think that's what we saw with James Harden in Houston. I think to an extent that's what we're seeing here with Jimmy Butler. And by the way, that missed flight that he had yesterday, he had let the team know beforehand that he was going to do that. This is not the first time that Jimmy Butler was planning to fly separately from the team. This has happened before. It's occasionally happened with other stars across the NBA. But this is the Heat, in a lot of ways, like literally no tolerance policies right now with Jimmy Butler. And they are 9 games worth of suspensions just in the last 3 weeks.
So uncomfortable in the moment, for Jimmy Butler and the team. Like, hey, I'm going to this practice, I'm going to be an asshole. Okay? I'm going to this game, I'm not playing hard.
And he hasn't even done that yet. That's the crazy part.
So
we saw that in Minnesota.
Okay, so we're not saying, and he took over the team. Remember, he ran the thing, and then he left and said, I just cooked all these guys. That's Jimmy Butler's a dog. It was on ESPN. I think he was doing an interview afterwards. I mean, Jimmy Butler's a dog. But in the moment when you're trying to get out of there, it has to be so uncomfortable. Locker room, walking up the front office, I don't like you. Ownership, I don't want to be here. In the moment, so uncomfortable. But then as soon as you get to a new place, it's a parade. Welcome in. Welcome aboard. We can't wait to have you. So I guess they view it as a necessary evil, that uncomfort in the middle of it. But we hope it all works out for him. Good luck, Jimmy.
You got this.
Good luck, Miami. We're pulling for you. Go ahead, AJ.
Sean, staying on Jimmy real quick. When could we have seen this coming? When did everything start with them? Does it stem from them not extending him this offseason? And also, can you remember a time in Pat Riley's career where he had to deal with a situation like this where a player really doesn't want to be there and he has to figure it out?
I think where this probably turned was in the offseason, AJ, when Pat Riley made the comments essentially telling him to shut up and play basketball. Like if you're not going to be on the court, you don't need to be mouthing off about whether you're going to get by the Knicks or the Celtics. Play basketball. And that was one thing. They didn't extend him. You see this team is really going in on Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, their rising young core. And both players, Tyler Hero's looked like an all-star this year. So you kind of see the tide turning a little bit in Miami, the offense more geared toward those two guys. And then as the season goes on, I think the dissatisfaction that existed, there was just something off between Jimmy Butler in the last year of his deal, a veteran at his age, 35 years old. Usually guys like that, they want to have their futures settled out. We've seen it, guys. When a player's entering the last year of their deal, they want to figure out, where am I going to get the next long-term, not just money, but commitment? Where am I going to spend my next 3 to 4 to 5 years? And clearly this is not it as far as Jimmy's concerned. And that's where we saw this really escalate.
All the landing spots still the same that you reported early? What was it? Phoenix. Where else? There was a couple other spots. But is it maybe Los Angeles? Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, I do. About the Lakers, I know.
I feel like I missed one of AJ's questions. I think I just
Now, has Pat Riley ever dealt with this before?
Oh, no. I don't think, not to this extent. Obviously Dwayne Wade left him as a free agent. LeBron James left him as a free agent, and that was in a very public way. But from a player there internally, as much as Jimmy Butler is meant to that organization, I think this is something we have never seen before.
When he was coaching the Lakers with that team on the show, on that Showtime show, there's a couple guys like that.
Yeah, when he was getting started.
Yeah.
And what was real on that Showtime show and what wasn't? That was kind of the issue.
Him smoking cigs in the locker room was real.
Yeah, but I was watching it as a documentary, and then everybody that was in it came out and was like, this ain't right. This ain't real. That was a good show, but then it wasn't.
Yeah, that's just because they didn't like the accurate depiction of them.
Oh, the portrayal.
Yeah.
We got to bring that back, though. We got to bring that back.
Portrayal of Pat Riley is that he's a dog, been there, done that, worked from the bottom all the way up to the top. Obviously, a lot of respect. Him and Jimmy Butler on the outs right now. I think that's a big deal. Where's Jimmy Butler end up? And also in the trade market. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, could it be with the Lake Show? Because I know there's been a lot of talk about what they're going to do before the deadline. I know Rui Hachimura's name has been thrown out there, but it feels like maybe that's not going to happen. Are they going to land a big star this year at the deadline?
Yeah, I mean, the Lakers are doing their due diligence to see what's out there. The problem is in terms of the trade market, who there can make that difference. And I think LeBron James, Anthony Davis, your two-star players, I think they want to see some urgency, some activity with the Lakers in their front office to go out and go get another piece or two. And from my understanding, both LeBron James and Anthony Davis feeling that this team with the Lakers, which is now a certified playoff team. They're not as of right now a play-in team. They're in the 6th seed, 5-6 games over 500. They feel like if they get another piece or two, that they can really be legitimate title contenders. And when your best players feel that way, I think the Lakers will be active. They'll continue to do their due diligence. They have 2 first-round picks they can play with, and those picks so far out. 2029, 2031. The value on those picks is immense.
Yeah, that 2029 class. They got a couple 8-footers coming through.
That middle schooler right now is going to be ready to go.
That's right.
I think they're ready. We just saw the Suns trade their 2031 first round pick the other day for
that's
3
potentially
first round
a part of the problem with and I love that Matt Ishbia is going to do whatever the hell he can do to win. Fuck it, 2031, yeah. You can take whatever you want.
Send it.
I don't even know if I'm going to be the owner then. I might not want to be the owner then if we don't win now. But that is a part of the problem with the NBA, I think, for us taking you guys serious.
Correct.
Yeah, I think it is. And by us, I mean like people that aren't diehard basketball people. It's like, you're trading to 2031? Why don't you trade to 2051? Like, why don't you just go ahead and get rid of everything? Well, there is parameters on what you do. Okay. Doesn't sound like it. And then Jimmy Butler, superstar for Miami, right? He's with the Heat. He's undercut. He's going to be gone. Mm-hmm. It's like, so is it what is it? What is going on? I think that's the big conversation around the NBA. Did you just give us some breaking news right there? Did you give us some breaking news right there?
Not yet, but we might have something on this show. Not yet, though. Not yet.
Oh, really? Does it involve this potential, is that what you're talking about?
It might, but we'll see if we get it. We'll see if we get it.
You're him and hawing around here.
Yeah,
hopefully we're able to get
bit.
that. Connor has a question for you, Sean.
Yeah, Sean, there are reports that Maverick Carter was going to basically make a rival NBA league with Saudi Arabia, I believe, like an international type league. Is that really happening? And is the NBA screwed because if Maverick Carter does it, LeBron's going to go and then everyone's just going to watch LeBron over there?
BC, I hate to say it, I hate to break it on this show, but LeBron James is 100% not involved in this endeavor. Maverick Carter is an advisor for this group that's putting together a league, trying to get funding, $5 billion for this league, that international league that's supposed to rival the NBA. The NBA is also working on a league itself internationally in Europe, from my understanding. Adam Silver has spoken about it actually while he's been in Paris, talking about how they can build a league in Europe that's kind of going to be around, the Euro League and really be able to compete there. But eventually, potentially, I mean, he didn't close the door, but eventually having maybe a team, an NBA team over there in Europe as well. And he said, we'll need to figure out how the travel would work in that situation. But the NBA is also expanding in Europe as well. So there's going to be competition for whatever this international league is.
Okay, so Maverick Carter is an advisor, not a bad person to have in there. Obviously been there, done it with everything. LeBron James, not a part of the international league. He still wants to own a team in the NBA, I assume, at some point?
100%. And he's been very vocal about Las Vegas and whatever team they get. I mean, the NBA, I don't sense the expansion front is front of center exactly right this moment, but of course 2, 3, 4 years down the line, I think it is something the NBA is going to continue to take a hard look at. And you think about Seattle, you think about Las Vegas, Mexico City is another place that has gotten some consideration. So the NBA is going to continue to be mindful, but of course Las Vegas and Seattle are front and center.
Okay, I'm excited to see how it all works out. $5 billion is a lot of money, but to who? To the people allegedly, potentially behind that ain't
nothing.
You can accidentally just lose $5 billion, allegedly.
Chump change.
And Adam Silver knows that. He'll be able to make it happen. We love Adam Silver here.
Legend.
Very tall.
He's like Scott Van Pelt tall.
Yeah.
Like he just kind of walks in and you go, holy shit, did not know you were that tall. He's been very good to us. We appreciate him. We hope the NBA continues to go. You talk about expansion. I know there's one player in the expansion draft that everybody would want because of the superstar, the branding, the name, the opportunity. Ty has a question for you.
Shams, can we get an update on Zion? I think he's back. He's looked great. He actually looked like he's in shape, which is huge. Are we hopeful that this is going to be like a rest of the season thing, or are we kind of penciling in him getting hurt again and missing the most important games of the season? Or do we not have to worry about that anymore, and this is the Zion we should come to expect kind of for the rest of this season and future years here?
Schmitty, listen, we of course need and want to see Zion Williamson play for extended periods of time. I'll be honest, I don't know how many important games the New Orleans Pelicans are going to have for the remainder of the season, just looking at the record. But having Zion Williamson on the floor is the biggest thing that they need for the rest of this season, and they need him to continue to build on it. From everything I hear, and people might think it's crazy, but Zion Williamson really is in the best shape of his career. Since his rookie season. He hasn't been as light as he is. He's listed at 284. He's below that right now. I can report that. So Zion Williamson is in shape. His conditioning is right, and I think over the last few weeks, getting a sense on where you need to be basketball shape, your nutrition, your hydration, all the factors that keep you on the floor when it matters. I think he started to hone in on that. And the Pelicans know how important he is when he's healthy. He can really, Pat, he can change a franchise's fortunes really quickly.
He needs to get traded to Indiana. Come over here to the Pacers. They're playing in Paris. Pacers are taking on the Spurs. Wemby's back in Paris here in about 22 minutes. The Pacers are going to win the entire thing. Is that where we're at right now? Give us an update on who matters and who doesn't in this NBA.
Yeah, I mean, the Indiana Pacers certainly are finding their stride again, which is good for you guys. I mean, what's the feel in Indy? I mean, that was a slow start. Tyrese Halliburton, your guy, Pat, he got off to a slow start this year.
Well drafted.
What can you report on why
there's a blizzard,
he got off to a little bit of a slow start?
There's a blizzard in the locker room is what I heard.
Oh, no.
Was it fifth? What was it? Was it fitty?
A lot of people are saying a lot of things in the Instagram comments whenever they posted all their relationships that they're in over there in Paris. There's a lot of things said about this particular team. I think they've taken that in stride. I believe Tyrese Halliburton, we were very much in contact with him throughout the beginning of the season. And he looked like he was pouting.
Oh, yeah.
He looked like he was pouting. He knew that he was letting everybody down. He knew that he was not playing great. But all it takes for a guy like Tyrese is just a couple
shake and bakes.
Yeah, and a
couple shake and bakes, baby.
No look passes, and then he's back in it. It's like the feel around Indies, we're just fine. And Tyrese and the boys are going to show up. That's feel around Indy.
Yeah, I've heard the feel around Indies more so like, hey, does it really matter? Because no one's beating the Cavs or the Celtics.
Well, just real quick, we beat both of them. And also, Caitlin Clark went 50 of 54 from three on her birthday.
I saw that. That's
pretty good.
So, Tyrese Halliburton, Caitlin Clark, Indiana basketball is doing A-OK. All right, that is how we feel around here. And we know when the playoffs come around, they're going to play their best ball, just like you, Shams. We appreciate the hell out of you, brother. Thank you for staying on top of it.
I do have one thing before I leave. I will say this. Slam dunk contest in the NBA. Andre Jackson Jr. of the Milwaukee Bucks has committed to the NBA Slam Dunk Contest at All-Star Weekend.
Whoa.
So now it's Matas Buzelis of the Chicago Bulls, Stephon Castle of the San Antonio Spurs, and Andre Jackson Jr. of the Bucks.
Shit!
Those are three of the four commitments of the All-Star Weekend. Mac McClung, we'll see if he performs in this slam dunk contest in San Francisco.
Andre Jackson
he has
Jr.
had a standing invite.
Mac McClung,
back me up. Coach knows he's the starter.
Here's Andre Jackson Jr., number 44 for the Milwaukee Bucks. It's not just this photo. We have a highlight of this guy going up and look at him. Watch him. He's coming into the frame. Aye! That's who.
Come on now. Come on. Come on. His face is
I stand corrected.
2-3 inches above the rim.
Gonna go dummy.
Yeah, guy's got some bounce, but that white boy, Mac McClung, he also soars
We'll see if he does
it. We'll see
if he does it. It's going to be a show.
Well, we know
if he performs, it's going to be a show.
We know Matas Buzelis is coming in with the real shit.
He's
and then
stupid.
Stephon Castle II is coming in for the real deal. And then Andre Jackson Jr., not to be confused with Andre Jackson Sr.,
Bingo.
who also hit his fucking head off the rim, is going to be there. This can be the greatest dunk contest of all time. We appreciate
Shout out to Andre Jackson Jr., champion at UConn. The Bucks have played very well with him as a starter. He's emerged as a starter. He started most of the games with the Bucks this year, who have turned around. They play the Heat tonight.
We knew that, and all eyes are on the Heat. What are they going to do with their superstar? That's how you bring this whole thing full circle. We appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. Sean Strong.
Yeah.
Don't you be saying
I
that?
can't. Well,
You don't
I
know
mean,
who
really,
Stephen Castle is?
Yeah. Come on, Coach.
I mean,
Another
unless you're
UConn
like
boy.
watching on the day that
Buzelis, coach?
He's one of
Where's
the
he
goats.
from?
Buzelis.
From Buzelis land.
What, you want country of origin?
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. I don't know.
Czechoslovakia.
Uzbekistan.
Is he a Czech?
The way you're saying that is a little bit aggressive.
Yeah, I don't think you should say it like that.
I got some Czech in me. I want to know.
No, you don't.
Oh, do you? Paisano, okay. Andre Jackson Jr., that guy flies.
Yeah. Holy hell.
Flies. Did you see him? Look at him. Watch him. This guy's in.
Twice in here.
Oh,
Give me
Lord.
that.
Going
his jaw off it.
stupid.
Boom, he was going dummy, dude.
Mad dummy.
And then Mac McClung, we know who that is.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's Milk Boy that goes through the sky.
You guys went last year, right? You said it was awesome.
I wasn't there for the dunk contest. You were.
I was. It was sick.
They
Who's
need
favorite
to,
dunk?
The big one? Duh.
they need to stop with like 10 tries and act like it matters. You know, this is kind of the trick shot generation. You know, and I guess we do it every day. Every day out here.
Bingo.
This first attempt, if you make a shot, 30 people, $500, boom, shot number 7. But if you make that on the first one, it's much better.
Sweet.
The dunk contest, you see guys miss like 3 dunks, and then they still do it, and we're supposed to act like we're impressed. And the internet's like, this is impressive. It's like in real time, it wasn't, though. We also need the stars to do a dunk contest, but why would you if you're the star? Why would you risk getting injured? Why would you do something so explosive? You know, until the superstars say they want to do the dunk contest again, nobody's going to take it serious.
Yeah.
And that's just a matter of fact.
And
And like, we got an issue with the Pro Bowl of the NFL. Like, every time I talk shit to the NBA people about their All-Star game, I'm always like, your guys' fucking All-Star game is such a joke. You know, Tyrese Halliburton will come in here and will be like, you guys are going to force people to watch your fucking All-Star game again or whatever. He goes, how's the Pro Bowl? It's like, valid.
Yeah.
That's a very, that's a very valid question. So I think the All-Star games all mean something. I think the title matters, but it is tough to get, into them nowadays.
Yeah.
Back in the day, NFL-wise, stars playing. All the studs are playing. Trying to prove something. Quarterback challenge. I mean, it was like Peyton, Brett, Dan. I think all the big names were trying to throw their arms out.
Yeah.
They were trying to throw their arms out. Nowadays, if somebody was to do that, they'd be like, blah, blah, blah. You need to get out of that whole thing. Same thing's happening in NBA and everything like that. So we dunk on the NBA All-Star game a lot. I think All-Star games as a whole have just kind of not figured it out.
They're never going to fix the dunk contest either because, like you said, the stars need to do it. These guys make way too much fucking money. So it's like if they put up, even if we always talk about you got to put up some prize money. If they put up like $500K or like $1 million to the winner, these guys will be like, fuck that. I'm making like $8 million a game. So why the hell would I?
Yeah. So when Stephon Castle steps up to jump from the free throw line, let's not say
He sounds like he's out of a movie. What was it?
He's a UConn national champion.
This man is a rookie.
no. That's Andre Jackson Jr.
No, so
Castle
is
also.
too.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, I knew that.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, the 3-point contest has become the best one. Like now, the 3-point contest is the
Especially if we got Sabrina and somebody
Yeah.
and Caitlin and somebody, and they start doing it. That's how you really bring it together. Caitlin's not missing this year.
No, she's not.
So while they're all playing in a 3-on-3 league, she's hanging around Taylor, getting some ideas business-wise, and then she's in the gym. That's what Caitlin Clark's doing.
They did change the game now. There's multiple teams. They're more so doing like an NHL type All-Star game.
Who, undisputed?
And there's like
No.
there's America, and then there's Europe, right? And don't they have like that
The
type
Rising
of thing?
Stars game. Yeah.
Yeah, that whole thing going on.
Also, for the dunk contest, I mean, no disrespect, but Buzelis can't be in the fucking dunk contest.
Dude.
Can't
Why?
Have you seen him?
Can't have that guy in the dunk contest.
You got it?
Have you seen Mac?
Dunk.
That's different. Is a short white guy who can fly through the air. Well, I don't need to see a 7'2" Croatian guy in the dunk contest.
Why not? What if he's fucking?
That's what he is, a 7'2".
He's not gonna do that.
He's 7'2".
He's great.
He's very tall. I want to see some explosion. I don't want to see
What if this guy kisses the top of the backboard, and then
the very top.
Yeah.
Then
he's smooching the top of the backboard?
Then I will rescind all comments.
Wemby needs to be in a dunk contest. He needs to just walk up to it
That would be sick.
and not even jump.
Dribble full court and just fucking.
Slow though. Slow. Just one of these.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Buzelis might be able to do that.
Hit Edie. Maybe throw Edie in there. Have him do the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. So we're brainstorming. We'll continue to do that. Let's get away from the NBA. Let's go to the NFL. The
Thank
future
God.
of the NFL.
The NFL All-Star deals, like Pro Bowl,
stinks.
That is so bad.
Dodgeball?
Like, are we having egg toss again and water balloons? And
yeah, it's fun.
We were approached with helping be a part of the NFL Pro Bowl, like being on TV and everything. I don't think we're going to be part of the brainstorm for the games, so we turned it down.
Sure.
But there was a couple of Mickey Mouse games they were doing that I did not think we need to be putting our superstars through in public. Instead, we don't need to make these people look like idiots. But I like that it's competitive. Dodgeball is fun.
Longest drive.
Yeah.
That one was maybe the worst one. But
that's like PGL or whatever that is.
Yeah, why?
The coolest catch.
Coolest catch, also cool. But then when you drop one, it's not a.
And they were dropping a lot of them.
Yeah.
And they were going back and let's
the thing
try
Dano
again,
did
let's
was
try
cool.
again.
Off the jet ski?
Dano is the highlight. Dan Orlovsky doing the quarterback carnival was the highlight.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the future of the NFL, although we're talking about the greats. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who is former NFL scout, but now he does it on television very well. Mm-hmm. He hosts the Combine alongside Rich Eisen. He also hosts a podcast. He's also the color commentator for the Los Angeles Chargers. Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen, Move the Sticks with Daniel Jeremiah.
Yeah, DJ.
DJ, how you doing, bub?
I'm doing great, man. I've got my phone kind of acting sideways here, so it doesn't pick up my computer. I don't know why that didn't work.
That's okay, DJ. Tech is obviously something we're all trying to figure out. We were just talking about the NFL Pro Bowl and the NBA All-Star Game being absolute shite. I don't know if they're ever going to be able to fix it again with how much money and the analytics we have, but hopefully we'll be able to celebrate great players forever. Let's talk about great players coming in this draft. I heard Brinker talking to Ramon Foster and another local radio show down there. It said, if you have a once-in-a-generation talent, number one, you have to take that player. Blue player is what we call them. Like, once-in-a-generation, because they have the number one overall pick. But then also we'll listen to everything else. Who's he potentially talking about there? Is that Travis Hunter? Is that Abdul Carter? And whenever it comes to quarterbacks, everybody still talking Shador and Cam Ward really are the only first-round grades? And how do you kind of see it all operating?
Yeah, for me, Abdul Carter is the best player in the draft. So when I heard that and just like blue player, an elite player, someone who's going to step in, be a Pro Bowler, like right out of the chute, that was what I heard. And to me, Travis Hunter is so unique in how you can use him and all the different things he can do. So that was at least perked me up a little bit that this might not just be, whether it's Cam Ward versus Shador, they have a need at quarterback. It's going to be one of those two guys. That perked me up a little bit to say maybe they're taking a long-range view and just taking the best player. To me, Abdul Carter at a premier position, I would argue the second most important position on the field. To have a guy at that level of a talent, I'd be all in on that.
And he played through an injury, played in the Orange Bowl, which I respect and appreciate too. So
dominated.
Yeah, he's a
one
dog.
arm.
And Drew Rosenhaus said, I would have been disrespecting him and his family if I would have told him not to play for the good of business. So it feels like he's a guy. Let's talk about the quarterbacks now, because obviously there's a lot of quarterback-needy teams. Shador, Cam Ward, the only guys being talked about. Is that because their talent, their skill, and why? Okay, you know what's coming. Why are you draft pundits leaving Will Howard out of the conversation of being a first-round guy? It's because he has talent around him? Okay, that's his fault that he has talent around him? Somebody has to, on 3rd and 11, somebody has to get the call, know that he's going to throw a deep shot, go out there, put his thing on the table, and drop one into it. Even if Jeremiah's open, you still got to spin that thing and drop a 30-yard ball to win the national championship, which he did time and time and time again. What am I missing from you draft pundits? Why is he ranked so damn low? 4th round, people got him as. 4th rounder, 6'4", 240. What are you guys doing? What do I not see, DJ, in this entire thing?
First of all, dude, you're like the teacher that calls me to tell me I failed the test that I haven't even turned in yet.
Yeah, I just want to let you know. I already know.
I haven't even posted anything. It comes out next week, but top 50, mock draft, all that stuff.
You better fucking right.
Here's the Will Howard discussion. He went on an epic run, and I'm excited to get a chance to go through all the All-22 stuff in these playoff games because he played great, and I'm excited to get a chance to dig in on that. The games I had watched earlier, I'll just tell you, I got my notes in front of me. It was Oregon, Penn State, Nebraska. The first Oregon game. So the first Oregon game made some nice throws. He had a couple that got away from him down the field. On the whole, I thought he played well. But then at the end of the game, how it ends, he takes off, kind of a little bit of a brain cramp and slides, and it goes zeros and they lose the game. Next game I watch is Penn State. Again, there's a lot of good to take from that in terms of throwing on balance, some up and down throws over linebackers under safeties. but the first play of the game predetermines pick six. He's running in the end zone, fumbles out of the back of the end zone.
Okay.
Then I go to Nebraska. So I've just watched 3 games early in the process, and coach knows, you start with 3 or 4 of these games, and then you get a chance to circle back and watch some more as we go. And Nebraska was the last one. He had a sack fumble, and a ball took off on him for a pick in that game. So the size, he's 6'0", 3'7", so he's just at 6'4", 240 pounds, as you mentioned. He can move around. He can make all the different throws, and he got on an epic heater at the most important time. And I'm excited to dig into those. Pat, he's right on the borderline of a top 50 pick for me at this point in time. But I'm telling you that because I haven't had a chance to watch this playoff.
Okay, so you're saying that I'm coming at you sideways. I'm not putting him in the 4th round. You got him a little bit higher because
he's much higher. He's higher than that. He's a day 2 guy for me as we sit right now, and we'll see go through the rest of the process. I was a little bummed because I'm going to be at the Senior Bowl next week. And understandably so. He's played 16 games. He pulled out of the Senior Bowl at the last minute. So I was excited to see him in person because I've never stood next to him and get a chance to see him throw.
Okay,
but I'll have to wait to the combine.
So on that note, he also carried the ball, I think, 16 times at national championship, let alone 16 games. He said on our show, Senior Bowl next week. I'm pretty banged up. I don't know if that.
Yeah, understandable.
The best usage of his time. He's had, 4 Senior Bowls in the biggest moment. He's had an incredible game. Speaking of Senior Bowl, though, Chuck has a question for you, Jeremiah.
Yeah, so DJ,
sure.
with NIL and all these players decide not to declare for the draft and stick around because of the money that's available to them, what's that doing to your pool? We got the Senior Bowl's February 1st, I think.
Yeah.
Are you missing out on a bunch of guys to, the point you're just talking about the kid at Ohio State, but these guys that are staying in school? What's the pool look like? And then the second part would be back to Travis Hunter. Put your GM hat on. Where would you take him as? Would you take him as a D-back, a corner, or a wide receiver?
Well, I want to start with that one because I want to go back to you quickly on that, Coach, because most times when you have guys that can do the two-way thing, and it goes back to, Champ Bailey and Woodson, all those guys, they major in defense and they minor in offense. It's just a lot easier to sprinkle them in on offense than to sprinkle them in on defense. The challenge for me, Coach, I actually like him better at receiver than I do at corner. And he's not big. He's going to be a little over, 170, 175 pounds. So asking him, even though he was able to do it in college, I think in the NFL where they're going to pull him into the run game a little bit more, I prefer him on offense over defense. I'd like to sprinkle him in, but Coach, I'd love to know your take. Can you do that? Can you go the other way and major in offense and minor in defense?
Okay, and Chuck will give his take on that. Daniel Jeremiah will continue to break down the draft boards on YouTube, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and TikTok Live. We'll see you tomorrow on ESPN. Goodbye. Okay, with that being said, Travis Hunter, easier to be offense, defense guy, or do you think you're going to see both? Hembo sent me a stat that he has been, I think, pushing throughout a lot of the ESPN folks. Average top 10 wide receiver at this point, top 5 wide receiver, $30 million. Mm-hmm. Average top 5, top 10 corner, like $20 million. There's a chance this guy's a $50 million player if he's able to be top 5 at both positions. I think that's going to be incredibly difficult. I think everybody that's been in the NFL thinks that's going to be incredibly difficult. There's a chance he's different, though. Right? Is there a chance that Travis Hunter is different as a guy who grew up in Boulder and loved the Colorado Buffaloes?
Yeah, I studied him, DJ, earlier this year, watched all his tape as a corner, and then Jay Gruden, we do a deal on 33rd team. He broke him down as a wideout. This guy is a rare elite talent. I mean, what I saw him do on the defense, they weren't real complicated. He played, obviously a bunch of press man. They sprinkled in some two deep here and there. So from a, coverage standpoint, quarters, this, that, and the other, he's got some learning to do. But he's rare. And don't you think? I just think it's harder to find corners than it is to find wideouts, and I think you can find wideout, but the true cover guys, like if you want to be a pressure team and you want to get after people and you want to get lockdown corners and take away, the wideouts and play press coverage, I just think those guys are so hard to find, and to me it would be like go that route, put them on defense, and then have a package on. I think it's easier because
a red zone, a third down,
whatever that is, and then go the other way. We've seen it go the other way. We've seen Belichick, use some guys that play nickel corner in a pinch, if guys are injured and things like that. But yeah, the guy is rare wherever he goes and whatever side he plays on. I think he's going to be spectacular.
Yeah, he's coach. I love that viewpoint, and I think that's kind of that's been traditional, right? Is that you're going to play defense. It is harder every year. I always send out a tweet every year, and it's free PSA for high school kids. I said every year in the draft room, and every year I've been doing this on the media side of things. I'm trying to trim my receiver list, and I'm trying to find corners. So if you have a chance to do one or the other, you got better odds if you go to corner of making it to the next level. So I'm with you on that. My only thing is I think of guys, slender frame corners Jason Verrett, I go back to him, was a great player, just couldn't stay healthy. Denzel Ward has been beat up a lot, who had a similar type frame for Cleveland. Like, this is not Pat Surtain. This is not a 200-pound, big, sturdy, physical guy. And I just feel more in the college game where you can kind of be removed from the action a little bit more, and he can cover like a son of a gun. But I feel like in the NFL, with so many of these condensed formations and bringing these guys into run fits, that's where I just worry about him holding up over the long term. That was my concern.
Hey, forced fumble to win a game. Big time. He has like 3 forced fumbles on the year. Travis Hunter is an absolute dog. Can he maintain being that Ferrari for an entire NFL season against adults? We shall see. Special talent. Go ahead, AJ.
Daniel, what about Shedeur Sanders? What do you think his outlook is? Do you think he does anything at the combine? Does he need to? And I guess where do you see him? Where do you see a good fit would be for him?
Well, he's there's pretty split opinions around the league. It's pretty polarizing, actually. But to me, when you watch him, the things that are irrefutable, he has got just a pure throwing motion. He is a natural thrower. It is real pretty the way the ball comes out of his hand. He's extremely accurate. He's incredibly tough. He got the living tar kicked out of him over the last few years there at Colorado. Those things you can't refute. Now, the people that aren't as high in Shedeur are going to say, well, he doesn't have elite size, he doesn't have an elite arm, and he's not an elite athlete. So it's like everything he does is right here. He doesn't do those other things over the line. So that's where some of the disconnect comes around the league. I think you get him in the right place, you protect him. He's a point guard. He can be very, very efficient. So I think him and Cam Ward, that's going to be a fun discussion. I have Cam Ward right now over him, but I have both those guys as the clear-cut top 2 guys, and there's so many quarterback-needy teams that are going to have opportunities there in the top 10. I think they both go up there in the top 10.
Cam Ward's number 1 guy. Why?
He's just got more. He's got more life in his arm. He's a little bit more explosive as an athlete when he takes off and goes. I just think he can expand your playbook a little bit more. Both of them have played a ton of football. I just think I give him a little bit of the check. He's about 25 pounds heavier. He's just a bigger, sturdier, stronger dude.
What the fuck, dude? You know who I'm going to bring up right now?
Who we got?
Fucking Will Howard. You can look. Cam Ward lost to Syracuse. No offense.
Yep. It's a shit defense.
Okay. So Will Howard, he fumbled a ball, I heard Jeremiah say. Well, he threw a bad pick. It's like, you look at anybody's tape looking for shit bad, you're going to find it, on any.
I mean, Pat, I don't have it in front of me, Pat, but I'm pretty sure Miami had like the number 1 scoring offense, the number 1 passing offense in the nation. Like he's pretty good.
Yeah, playing in the ACC, they stole a win against Virginia Tech. They stole a win against Cal. They stole a win against, I love Cam Ward. I am not saying that Cam Ward is not a guy that I want on my team, but just acting like there is, because you guys are the ones, and once again, you didn't put your test out yet, so I guess I shouldn't judge you. But all these draft people are like, this is a bad quarterback class. This is a bad quarterback class. The motherfucker that just won the national championship, who's 6'4", 240, now we're here, hey, he's not a good one. He's not a good one. He can run all over the yard. Yeah, he did it whenever he's at Kansas State. Was a Big 12 Player of the Year there. He has too many weapons, though. It's like, what the fuck? He gets the NFL. Is he gonna have? He's smart. He figures things out. He's in a new offensive system with Chip Kelly and Ryan Day. He's only gotten better.
Pat, we got a long way before the draft. Dude. You got to pace yourself, man.
I'm not happy about it. I think it's disrespectful to this guy. And his
friends boys too. If he, so here's an interesting one. So if you took, did you see Ole Miss at all this year?
Jackson Dart. Are you talking about Jackson Dart?
I'm saying if you took Jackson Dart and does Ohio State, and then AJ, I'll get your take on that as someone who's a Buckeye and watches the Buckeyes. If you took Jackson Dart and he got to throw to Jeremiah Smith and Tate and Ibuka and had those 2 running backs behind him and had all those NFL lines, do you think Jackson Dart would have won the national championship?
That's cute. That's very cute. We're doing that with Brock Purdy in the NFL too, or does his brain matter in this?
No. I'm just saying. I'm just asking a question here. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like you're a fucking hater.
I think Jackson Dart's pretty good. I think he's pretty talented.
I like him too.
Man,
I like him too. I like Jackson Dart as well. I think a lot of the other stuff people are going to wonder about if he's the face of a program, face of a franchise, and the other stuff is not stuff that I don't like. I love that he went out on Halloween and then 2 nights later threw for 500 yards or something like that. I like that he's all tatted up and the whole thing. I'm just saying there's some teams that are probably going to be like, that's not what we want for the face of our franchise. I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying whenever you're projecting.
Is this because the eye black? Is this because the eye black?
Yes, I think that is a part. I think that
it is not a tattoo, by the way, Pat. That removes itself. Like he doesn't have like the Mike Tyson tattoo.
Almost kind of wish it was full time. So now I don't know how to judge it. But I'm just saying, I'm not judging Jackson Dart for that. I've gone to bat for Jackson Dart, but I'm saying NFL teams will, which leads back to Will Howard. This guy's baby face, fucking just
all-American kid.
Everything about him is just like I don't know. I hope Jack.
Pat, what state are you from?
Pennsylvania.
Where's Will Howard from?
Yeah, Downington, motherfucker. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get to the core of this thing.
Hey, if you could go down, why don't you do some research, do a little homework project. Who has the most Hall of Fame quarterbacks? Just go through what a state has it, and then circle back to me whenever you get a chance, and that'll be a great convo. Once again, love Cam. Love Shador. I mean, if we're going to throw Jackson in there, sweet. Love Jackson. But I just feel like this guy, we seen it. We watched it live. And that Tennessee defense was supposed to be, like thumpers, were fast, freezing cold, so different game. We're making excuses for everybody but Will Howard, obviously. But in that particular case, he looks the part. Like everything about him just looks the part.
If he was 5'10", if he was like 5'11", I would understand them saying you're like a 5th or 6th rounder because you're like, oh, he's a stud, but he probably don't have the height for the NFL game.
But instead, he's fucking gigantic. He's a huge.
Yeah, but I've never said that 5th, 6th round. Like that's crazy talk to me. Like I think he's going to be a day 2 pick, which is a 2nd or 3rd round, and then if he aces it, like teams meet with him and fall in love with him and everything, then sure, who knows how high he can go. But I will say when I'm watching him, guys, real quick, and I'm watching. God, I mean, I can't take my eyes off I can't take my eyes off Travion Henderson. That Penn State game, Travion Henderson on one of Will Howard's touchdown run, he puts the freaking corner from Penn State. He just puts his face in his chest and puts him on the ground. Like that is a bad dude, man. And that's what I don't understand. I'm looking like some of this stuff has come out. I haven't seen everything, but just some of the buzz. And I'm like where's Travion Henderson in the first round of these things? What am I missing on him?
Yeah, and if he's not, there's another problem. Why is everybody? Because they got Jeremiah Smith on the team. And Judkins on for over 1,000 as well in the same back. It's like that's their fault that they got put on a good roster, that they put together a good roster. It's like they all rallied around Will too, which is a whole nother. And Travion Henderson, I'm cool with Judkins coming in here. It's like the human aspect thing.
Yeah,
you guys seemingly get lost in a little bit, I think.
Well, it's hard to separate someone from their situation. I will say, and this will be a point that is on your side of the fence for sure on this, is that there was people, it wasn't me, but there were people that with Burrow, he's got Jamar Chase and he's got Justin Jefferson. Like, how much is this Burrow? How much of this is the supporting cast? We saw it last year with Jaden Daniels, with Malik Neighbors, and the other freak who went to Jacksonville. It was at Brian Thomas Jr. So, like, these things are this is the way it works. Most of the quarterbacks, especially in the NIL era, where you can move around, guess what? They're going to gravitate toward where all the receivers are so they can play with them.
Yeah, and those teams are going to have the money, and that money is going to be spent on probably receivers and running backs. So I'm excited to see how it all turns out. They're not the only quarterbacks, so there's more. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, DJ, obviously this is a very quarterback-needy draft for a lot of teams. Before the college football season started, both Jalen Milroe and Quinn Ewers, in a lot of mock drafts, hey, these are top 10 guys, maybe top 5 guys. And then as the season has went on and the process has went on, both of these guys are kind of just sliding down best available, sliding down draft boards, and now we're looking at, I don't know, is Quinn Ewers going to be a 3rd-round pick, a 4th-round pick? Same with Milroe. Why have those guys dropped so much? And do you think there is a world where one of these teams panics who needs a quarterback and we end up having, 4 quarterbacks taken in the top 10?
Well, I can't see it being in the top 10, but I could see, maybe, in the first round or first 2 rounds. We'll take those individually. Like Ewers, I watched him over the summer. I was excited about him coming into this year. And I felt I was higher on him than a lot of people, but I saw some good things from his tape. I saw someone who I thought had some twitch to him and quick eyes, quick release. And, I was hoping he was going to take that next step. Now, he got hurt. And one of the things that I got to try and, figure out and get information on as we go through the spring is, how much did that impact him? Because he didn't play as well. He wasn't as urgent and quick as he played, but then he's got the oblique, that bothered him. He had a high ankle sprain. So how much did that impact it? But he didn't play as well as me and some others had hoped he would based off where he was last year. And then when you get to Alabama and you watch Milroe, you want him to be good so bad because everything you hear, he's a great kid. He's freaking jacked. He's a big, strong, physical kid who can run like crazy and can he just take the next steps as a passer? And then, just some of the decision making, Oklahoma game is one that jumps out, just kind of got away from him. And he's got a huge opportunity at the Senior Bowl next week. He's going to be down there, so we'll get a chance to see him. I think, just the traits, we've seen that go sideways as of late when you just kind of go all in on traits and, some of the quarterbacking stuff isn't there. And you're like, okay, well, that's going to come. Sometimes it doesn't. So that's going to be what, he's a little bit of an enigma, but somebody will do it. He's going to go on day 2 just because the tools are so interesting.
Yeah, he's electrifying whenever he's playing great.
Yeah.
And that is certainly something you would like to bet on potential, and potential will get your ass fired. But potential.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Massive piece of, the entire draft process. Now, you mentioned the Senior Bowl there. Chuck mentioned it, but Tone wants to hammer.
Yeah, I wanted to circle back on it, DJ. I saw a stat, I think 70 underclassmen are coming out this year, and then pre-NIL, I think the last year, 130 underclassmen came out of the draft that year. And Chuck kind of touched on it earlier. What has that done for the draft process in general with the NIL?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that back because I forgot to answer that part of the question. It's interesting. I think we've caught up a little bit. So what's happened is, we don't have as many kids coming out, but we also now are getting the benefit of having some seniors that would have been in last year's class that decided to stay in last year. So I feel like from a talent pool standpoint, I still think it's deep. I think especially defensive line's loaded, tight ends loaded, running backs loaded, offensive line is solid. It's just kind of a weird year because we've had so many years of these just incredibly deep receiver groups. But for some reason this year it's not as star-studded. But I don't think that's NIL based because most of these top guys, they came out. The problem is just the weird part of college football. The best receivers in college football right now are all freshmen and sophomores. They're all that big wave is coming in the next couple years. But I don't think it's as impactful now because I think we finally caught up. So where we might miss a couple kids that stayed in and took the money to stay in school, but we're getting the benefit of the kids that stayed in last year.
All right. Well, there's also the guys doing 7-8 years college ball.
Sure.
Congrats to them becoming doctors while playing football.
Dude. So here's one that I heard the other day, by the way, was that think about the quarterbacks with NIL. And it was talking about some of the movement that we've seen. And it said, people don't know, they might be getting $3 or $4 million, the top guys, and maybe that's Georgia kid that goes to Miami, he could be getting $3 million around there. But people don't know is a lot of the trading card agreements that they do with either Panini or Topps, whoever they're signing their deals with, they have clauses in there that if you are a first round pick, the value of your signature goes through the roof. So you're talking $4, $5, $6 million kickers if you end up being a first round pick. So if you're a quarterback and you don't have a great year, or you're I don't know, I'm maybe a second round pick, okay, I can stay in college, I can get a guaranteed 3 or 4. I go in the first round, I might get a $5 or $6 million kicker on this trade deal. It's insane, dude.
Yeah, Domo Regato, Mr. Roboto through the end there. That was fantastic. I don't know what's happening with your audio, but I love that because that's potentially Drew Aller. Right? I mean, Drew Aller goes back at Penn State, could have left, went to the NFL, has the game end the way it ends where he throws a pick and then they kick a field goal, obviously against Notre Dame. It's you're definitely going back to school. He can continue to grow and ascend and do his thing. I'm excited for everybody. College football is in a great place. Daniel Jeremiah, we're in a good spot with you breaking down players. I still think you're fucking full of shit with Will Howard, but I'll be excited to see where you land on him. Legitimately, I will be excited.
You're the best, man. I love you guys. I'll see you guys later.
You too, ladies and gentlemen. Move the sticks, Andrew.
Yeah, DJ.
I called him this morning, and just as soon as he answered, FaceTime. Haven't talked to him in months. Answers it. What the fuck's your guys' problem? He goes, what? I go, Will Howard, a 4th rounder? This is unbelievable. You guys don't know ball anymore? Is it what? We don't watch film? We don't look for good players? What are we even talking about? He goes, I don't have him as a fourth rounder, just so we have that clear. I'm like, so he's a first rounder. He goes, I don't have him as a first runner either. I'm like, what am I missing? I did the entire thing. He obviously answers anytime we call him. We appreciate him. But he's like in those rooms, has been. He's been very accurate too whenever he makes his projections for drafts. So whenever he's speaking, we will certainly listen. We appreciate him taking time. And I understand Jeremiah Smith's the real deal. He is. Igbuka's the real deal. He is. Cardinal Tate, he is. Judkins is. Henderson is. Offensive line is. But that's not his fault. Like, that's what this is going to become whenever you're a quarterback that transfers and gets paid a bunch of money, because you're not the only position they're paying a bunch of money to. Ohio State's paying every position to try to be as good as possible. Now, they're not the only school. Obviously, we just learned Miami's paying $3 to $4 million down there for Carson Beck.
Mm-hmm.
How much you guys spend on defensive side down there, Gumpy? How much you spending down there?
Zero.
Not enough.
Not with that DC.
Who's the new DC? Gump?
They got him from Minnesota. He's actually very good. Stoked for that because the last guy stunk.
You're a Miami guy.
That's a positive. They need it.
Defense?
Oh.
Yeah, that was tough to watch.
Which is weird because Cristobal was supposed to be a defensive guy.
Yeah, but he speaks Spanish, so he's a good fit down there.
Yeah, it won't matter either way.
Cam Ward's the real deal, though. Cam Ward almost went to Florida State, right? And instead goes to Miami. Think if Miami would have got DJ Uiagalelei, that would have been a little bit of a different situation, we assume, going forward. Cam Ward flips that entire program down there. Then the football gods start blessing them. They were getting lucky. Win. Defense wasn't able to stop anything. And Cam Ward in that offense, electrifying. I'm not saying Cam Ward isn't a great player. I'm not saying Shador isn't a great player either, but it's like, you can't just play the game. You drop Jackson Dart into that otherwise. You think they turn on Jackson Dart after the losses? You think he motivates the boys? You think he gets along with the locker room? You think he has celebrations with everybody? Maybe. I'm just saying we can't just do that game. It's not Will Howard's fault.
Well, go ahead. Sorry, AJ.
No, Chuck, you go, please.
No, so like when we draft a quarterback to one of these, all we talk about is surrounding them with what?
Weapons.
Okay. So we're not supposed to give a kid in college or the NFL weapons.
Speaking of
so he has a
speaking of a couple weapons,
Speaking of weapons.
Whoa.
What timing?
Jeez.
Sorry, AJ.
Tone Diggs on a diet. He's eating baby carrots for snacks.
Yep.
And he's almost got me to join in. Then Chuck today shows up with some of these apple fritters things.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. And then this is going to show up after the show. I know it. Fat Pat's continuing for at least another week, it appears.
Had some Mac dough.
Yeah, but I took off half the muffin.
Oh yeah.
It's just
good.
protein.
You're good.
Yeah, just egg, Canadian bacon, cheese. I'm okay.
It's actually like super healthy.
It's keto.
I'm trying to get better.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. People would say that was a smart play by me.
Right.
A healthy play by me.
It's like eating like a kale shake almost.
Exactly. And maybe I'll take just the top of the pizza off. It would just be cheese and
there you go.
pepperoni.
Sure.
And I'll just eat that.
Just eat the cheese and the pepperoni, a little bit of sauce.
A little salad, tomatoes.
Make an apple out of it.
Tomato,
the fruit.
So I don't eat that. But I'll tell you what, team pizza or team wings, how about team both?
How's that sound?
How about I'm on both sides? Mm-hmm. And if we're going to pick, I'm definitely on team bone-in wings.
Yeah.
Than team chicken nugget with sauce on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
But mad respect for all parties.
It's all the goat.
What's the score of the Pacers-Spurs game currently taking place in Paris, France? Bonjour. Merci beaucoup. Oui, Tyree. Halliburton. I don't know if you saw that. They took their families over there.
Yeah.
Significant others.
Pretty cool.
They took photos, posted on Instagram.
Obi Toppin got engaged.
Nobody congratulated any of them from the comments I saw.
The fuck?
Yeah, I didn't know what that was.
Who are they playing over there?
Tip for
Spurs, Wemby. Wemby's back.
Did they bring their families?
I assume.
So is this just a circus trip? Like,
it does. I don't
Obi
know.
Toppin got engaged down there.
Congratulations.
well,
He's in love.
It's in love.
I haven't been paying attention, but have we won 10 or 12 in a row or whatever? So we're good with just going over and having a field trip and having fun.
They're playing a game.
What do you mean? It's league mandated.
The fucking Paris.
You know how the NFL, you have to go play in London? Did you have to go play in London?
Yeah, we had to go play Jacksonville.
Was that a
we didn't
field
leave
trip
the
or-
hotel. No, we didn't. We had curfew, bro.
Yeah.
We're over there to win a damn game.
I
We're
got a
not over there
massage
to
with
get-
Joe Philbin,
we're not-
remember?
Yeah, god damn right.
Yeah,
You didn't sneak out to have a pint, Chuck?
Fish and chips.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, look, you did.
Yeah, I do.
No wonder you got canned.
I didn't. I want to let you.
You know what I was about to say?
Please.
When I looked over there
Yeah.
a minute ago, and I'm just looking at like how sweet
His
hair looks right now, and I'm picturing like a lot of blue paint on his face.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cold.
What do you think?
He looks like William Wallace.
Braveheart.
I watched Braveheart last night. It's funny you mentioned that.
Did you really?
I did.
Every time you turn TNT or one of those, I mean, it's on.
Can't turn it off.
How do you
dozen
watch all
times a
these
year.
things?
How do you
watch all these things?
Oh, because I've seen it like 100 times, and I just know, like, okay, I'm gonna watch the start where Mel Gibson kills like 50 people very violently, and then I'll kind of just zone out. I'll be in bed by 9:30.
Got it. Do you watch it on like 2x speed?
No, just normal. I know where all the good parts are.
We need to go back and watch that last 44 minutes of Top Gun.
Yeah, you do.
Boom.
I need to go watch that.
Good call.
That's good. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
When they're taking off the carrier.
Yeah.
From them taking off the carrier all the way to the end.
Yep.
Worth it. Just so much fucking America. So much Tom Cruise. Mai Tai doing his thing.
Hangman saving the day.
Oh, you're welcome. Man, I kind of want to watch it right now.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
They have not tipped off yet in Paris. You know how that go. You know how Paris go.
That French town. Oh.
It is 2-0 to Indiana Pacers, so maybe the field trip was worth it, Chuck, as you continue to question the Pacers' motives. Wemby. Cross up, into paint, dish,
Good
kick.
D.
Great D. Smack the floor. This is American power. What a shot.
Good luck.
Over Mathurin there. 2-2 in Paris.
So one game and then back home?
They got a game on Saturday as well. I don't know if it's in Paris or if it's somewhere else.
I believe it's in Paris.
Yeah. And they play the Spurs again, don't they?
Yeah.
Tyrese Halliburton comes off a pick. He needs to pull up from right there. We saw him in the Thunderdome shoot from there, and he didn't miss. Shoot that bucket. Don't like the board. We didn't have anybody really.
That is Castle, I believe, right there, the dunk contest.
The guy just dribbled out of bounds.
Bingo.
Tell you what, hard to watch here.
Yeah. This stinks.
Boy.
Well, it's in France, so it's a little different.
These guys ain't locked in.
Well,
yeah, they are.
T's and P's to Greg Popovich.
Welcome to watching the NBA, Coach.
Best team in the city, Coach.
T's and P's to Popovich.
Load management, load this.
No, they're different.
Coach.
Not just Pacers. These Pacers teams play. They play. Carlisle has the boys running.
Bingo.
There it is.
Pop that, Tyrese.
God.
I mean,
Myos!
Yeah, right.
I don't know why you're doing that in Wemby's time. I don't know why you're doing that.
Take a charge.
Like
is that
earlier you
Harrison
said-
Barnes?
Yep. Still
Wait,
doing it.
do we play D on
Still
this
bring it.
game?
What'd you say, Edge?
Earlier you said it's on NBA TV, and we all have that.
We do.
Where do you find that? What streaming
Certainly
device
do.
is that?
I'm not 100% sure, but I know that is not where we thought this game was going to be step back. Oh, my God. Let's not watch it.
Keep
Let's
it
get
on.
to a break.
Looks like AQ shooting.
It does look like AQ. That might be a part of the NBA's issue right there.
I'll
Can't
say.
find it, and when I do turn it on, it's crop. It's absolute crop. Tyrese needs to be shooting that fucking ball. Why is he passing it?
Yeah.
We'll be back on the other side. Chuck's going to make his picks. Pacers will take the lead.
Sure.
We're an international show all of a sudden.
Boom.
Bonjour, ça va? Ça va bien. Merci beaucoup. Because life is fantastic. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change your life. Take 5. Running back, Noah Whittington. Boom! It's a fullback. Didn't score a touchdown, but what'd he do? He ram. Bryquise Brown. Saws him in half. DB, Weston Arthur. Boom! Loses his helmet. But this does not count because it wasn't a player. You see, it was a Ram. The Georgia Ram dog. Listen to that sound. That's not us adding sound. Those are pads crashing. The quarterback. The Ram truck stick. Eric Phoenix. Boom! Weston Arthur will carry over from last week. Mason Fletcher goes for the boom. Safety, Lathan, Ransom. More like Ransom! Ransom! Kobe Savage, the duck truck toot toot. Oh. Legal play. Where'd your helmet go?
Wow.
Jonathan Allen, more like Ramathan Allen. A little bit of a low punt, but the players can make play. Oh! Let me throw my body. There is a flag on the play, but not on the punter. San Jose State, more like Ram Jose State. Weston Arthur Mount. Boom. Florida. Ole Miss. Gator, Ram, Bryce Cohen. 2 people, 1 Ram, Trevor from California. The equipment manager sees a guy steal a ball, tracks him down through the crowd, and boom! Belly to back suplex, bitch! They showed the clip to the team in a team meeting the next day. This is the reaction. Boom play that has been seen by millions. Hey, millions! We have Ram Payne on the campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, running back Jordan James. Damn. John, could you love seeing a running back do something like that?
I do, and I think it's more impressive than a tackle, to be honest. You can't use your hands, you can't scoop the legs, and if you're knocking him ass over teacups, I like the run better than the tackle.
Shiloh, slam there! A nuke! I love Dan Jackson, more like Ram Jackson. Gunner Stockton. Dunzo. Cam Scatterboom. More like Ram Scatterboom. More like you can't tackle me. Rumbling, stumbling. Our reigning champion of this Ram truck segment since jump has been from Mount Union with a Mount Boom. Weston Arthur. Boom! I mean, if you're talking about a Ram truck segment, that epitomizes it. What to expect whenever I came out here to Utah. Shock that. Yeah, shock. I can't make it. Steve Smith Sr. Ladies and gentlemen, Pac-12 champion, head coach of the Utah Utes football team, pulling in on a Harley Davidson Sportster, I do believe. Coach Kyle winning.
Lot of blessings piling up that I ain't even wished for. None left over for y'all. I'm locking the fridge door at the crib, cutting hits. I read through the catalog, came to conclusion, no one's touching this. Just finished the maiden voyage, hopping off the Mayflower. Said I'm shot to kill them off, whatever the take down. Sink the boats, I'm at home. I'm selfish with the goals.
I mean, you got to do it. It is 34 degrees out here in the back-to-back Pac-12 champions. Mighty Utah student section has been here in abundance. They've been loud. In today's a day where they showcase to the world that it's not just Mormons and soaking in Utah. No. It's great football and an incredible fan base. They've been so kind. I appreciate the hell out of you all. Have you ever thought something negative about a kicker before in your entire life? Yes. All right, relax, dude. Okay. Boston Connor was drinking with Dwayne Wade last night. $225,000. Let's remember this day forever, Cameron. You know that 29 out of the last 30 home games that happens right here at the University of Utah, the Utah Utes win. Cam Rising said yesterday, we don't lose at home, and today, they ain't losing. This place is going to be soaking in celebration this evening. You guys were absolutely this morning, you showed everybody that this is a town you don't want
Jacked it.
Lighting straight.
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Sports Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. Hour 3 of the program starts now.
Football
is awesome. That's AJ Hawk. The Talks the Tables here at Boston Connor and Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys AP Tone is here wearing a Duquesne football hoodie. I saw you got a ring.
Yeah, I'm an A10 champion.
Wow. Where'd you put the ring at?
It's still at my house. I'm going to bring it in here.
Okay, so Duquesne sent you a championship ring, a hoodie, and a helmet?
Yeah.
Wow. Go Dukes.
Yeah, great people. Great day to be, Duke.
It is a great day to be a Duke. You're a champion. 36 years in football as a coach, 18 in college, 18 in the NFL. Chuck Pagano is here.
Baby Charles.
Chuck, we got a chance to watch some NBA there during the break, obviously over there in Paris. Wemby has gone apeshit since we turned the game off. Hit a 3 and then followed up with a 2. Tyrese has also hit a step-back 3. We need more of that. Has it been an electrifying day in your mind talking about this NBA, the association? What a sport, what a game, what a league. Jeez.
What the hell?
Chuck.
Jeez Louise.
I don't know how anybody. Until the playoffs, I will not watch a game.
Okay. Listen, that's Chuck Pagano. And to you basketball people, there's a lot of people that feel that way.
There you go.
And I think you shouldn't be mad at Chuck. I think you should just understand that's reality of the situation. But if Tyrese Halliburton starts cooking,
Bam.
And Miles Turner starts doing his thing, and Spicy P, and Carlisle, the coach, starts doing more press conferences, this Pacers team's going to be must-watch. Must-watch. And you know why? We only got 3 football games left.
Yep.
2 of them on Sunday.
That's so depressing.
Agreed. That's why we're starting to do this whole song and dance here about the NBA. You know, we're trying to... Zion.
Yeah. The Celtics.
Yeah. Cavs.
Yeah. OKC.
Yeah.
Cool story.
Jackson
SGA.
Jr.
Yeah. Houston.
That's what we're starting to do here, Chuck. You can sense it.
Hockey's cooking.
Hockey is awesome. People need to talk about it more. Pittsburgh Penguins on fire right
Bingo.
now.
Fire sale.
No, they're not very good, are they?
What? Sure. Hey, big win against the LA Kings the other night.
How's Jocko doing?
Who?
Jocko.
It's Sacco, you bag of bones.
Did you hear about D?
Jocko.
Did you hear about D?
Is he still the head coach?
Is he still the head coach? Yeah.
Are they on a runner?
They just lost 5-1.
Yeah. Let's not talk about just the Boston Bruins. Did you hear about D over there?
About what?
D.
D's not.
Almost had him.
Got Coach Sabin during a commercial break at game day.
Oh, yeah.
Necessarily
Forgot about that.
Yeah, I completely forgot about it until it came into my mind during a commercial break. And I was like, hey, D wanted to talk to you. He goes, D who? And I go, and I just look away. And it was like 2 minutes later, fuck you. You got it. Coach Sabin's the man. Did you see him on the pivot?
Oh, I did, man. I love that crowd. I mean, I love Crowder and what he does, but yeah, the bathroom stories is pretty awesome.
Yeah, Channing Crowder saying it was, here, this clip from the pivot about Coach Sabin is a great depiction of who he's a football guy through and through who happens to become the greatest of all time in college coaching, one of the greatest leaders of all time, one of the greatest teachers of all time. But at the end of the day, he's a football guy from West Virginia. Here's him on the pivot talking with Channing Crowder about their times at the Miami Dolphins.
Speaking of Terry, I don't know if you remember this interaction in the bathroom. I was in the bathroom at a Dolphin facility, and I was playing on my phone. That little bathroom right by the front door by the team meeting room. Yeah. And you walked in, and I saw you through the crack because I was in the stall, and I knew it was you, and I said, I have to go out here. And I walked out, and I went to the sink, and I started washing my hand. I looked over, and I knew I had to say something to you. You're the head coach of the Dolphins. You're Nick Damn Sabin. And my first thought, but in all the meetings, you used to talk about Miss Terry. You talk about your wife, and she brought us cookies. She brought cookies to the team. Yeah. And Coach, I looked over, and this is about 10 games into the season, and I think it was Buffalo running back, but I ended up giving up a third down catch to the running back on the option route. And this is Wednesday at practice, and I'm washing my hands. I look over, I say, hey, Coach, how's Miss Terry? And you looked at me and said, she'll be a lot better if you can cover her fucking back on third down.
That's right.
She wanted to win. But it always blows my mind. When you saw me, had to be 3 days later. That's what you thought about me giving up that 3rd and 7 when I asked you, how's Miss Terry?
Yeah, well, you got to get off the field on 3rd down.
What an answer, what a response. I'm happy Channing and he had that moment, obviously. But after getting to hang out with Sabin every single week, dude is awesome. You can see why he was so successful. What a run he's been on. I hope he talks more. I hope he does more leadership stuff. Well, Miss Terry, too, like, yeah, she knows. Got to be able to get off the fucking field, bub. Yeah. Life would be a lot better for all parties. We win there. That's the whole thing about families and coaches. It's like they ride of everything, right? And
they try not to. They say, hey, we're not going to, but hell yeah, they do.
Have to. Yeah,
there's no way around it.
Miss Tina's awesome. Now, granted, you've said some things on this show about her this year that I don't think is necessarily great, but you know what we're talking about.
Past that.
Well, we can bring it right back up. We won't, though. That's not what our show does. But what I think
Please, she forgot about it. We don't need to bring it up.
Well, you're calling her. I don't think you're forgetful, Miss Tina. No. I think you got a great brain. I think you're very happy. I think you understand what Chuck did this year while giving out picks, waffling with the syrup and everything like that. But I do know that your championship picks are about to be the best you've ever had. How'd you do this past weekend? 3-1?
I believe so.
Chuck Leano was 3-1 this past weekend. You're seeing the board. You're seeing it clearly. Let's talk about these championship games and what your expectations are, Coach.
Yeah, so Philly and Washington, they split in the regular season, right? I just think Washington is playing so much better team football right now. I think Philly, obviously, they can run the ball. They've struggled. Who'd have thought that they would have beat the Rams, right? And A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith would have 6 catches for 35 yards between the two. Like they just and Jalen's holding the ball and holding it, and there's nobody getting open. They know each other, so there may be a wrinkle, like they talked about, a wrinkle here or there on both sides of the ball, some little gamesmanship, whatever. But I like. And again, Washington 30th in run defense throughout the course of the year. This guy had almost 300 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns in 2 games. Saquon did on these guys, but I like the Commanders and the points in this one.
You continue with the dogs
because I just think that all the pressure is on Philly. They're at home. The expectations with Sirianni, and I love Coach Joey Panunzio, my paisan from home.
Panunzio, Sirianni, Big Dom, mozzarella.
Are you kidding me? But all the pressure's on them. And Washington, they're playing with house money. They've exceeded expectations by $2 million to this point, and that'll change next year, obviously. But this kid's playing so free. He's mature beyond his years, Jaden Daniels. Lattimore, he's going to go shadow, A.J. Brown and all that stuff. So they'll make just enough play. Luvu.
Oh, dog.
Luvu,
Jared Goff.
what he did to Goof,
Goff. His name's Jared Goff.
Turned him into a goof.
No, he turned him back. Yeah, turned him back.
It should have been called.
Commanders beating the Lions. I assume that was on your ref call, the one that you're on every week saying, how do I stick up for the refs every week? I appreciate you doing that for them. It should have been called, obviously, defenseless player, even though he's trying to make a tackle.
They missed that.
Them beating the Lions gave me a thought that Notre Dame could beat Ohio State. I was like, you know what? Commanders just beat the damn Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions more healthy than they've been for a long time. Oh, yeah. Detroit Lions the most dominant at home. They got Eminem there. They got Jello Ball performing up there. They got it all. I didn't think there was a chance the Commanders are going to win that game.
I didn't think there was either, and I didn't think the Lions would turn the ball over as much as they did. That was the key to the game. They did not take care of the ball.
5 turnovers, obviously 3 interceptions from Jared Goff, 1 interception from Jameson Williams, then add in a fumble on that. That's impossible. But also, the Commanders out-physicaled the Detroit Lions. Like, they showed up.
They keep it really, really simple on the defensive side. They don't do a whole lot. They're going to play a bunch of middle field closed, single high, mix in some 2 here and there. Little fire zone, 3 under 3 deep, but them some bitches play hard and they play fast.
You know who else feels the same way you do, I think? He was leading towards it hard as soon as the game was announced. A.J. Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't that right, A.J.?
Yeah. 6 points. The 6 points definitely has me curious about this Commanders team, no question.
He's a big fan of the Commanders squad. I mean, how could you not be after the wins that they just got right there? And is it a team of destiny?
Yeah, if they win, they'll be the 3rd ever team to win against the 3 seed, 2 seed, and 1 seed. The other two being the 2005 Steelers and the 2010 A.J. Hawk Packers.
And what did they do?
They all won the Super Bowl.
Interesting. History says if the boys are able to get a win here in Philly, which is going to be tough against the Johns, especially with the 30th rush defense, that's not good, especially with what Philadelphia is, and they know what they are. It's like this Commanders team can beat anybody. They proved that last week, and obviously that's football any given Sunday, especially Championship Sunday. Now, let's go to the AFC. Patrick Mahomes taking on Josh Allen. Man. How do you see it going, Chuck Pagano?
Yeah, I mean, everybody would love to see Josh Allen and this Buffalo Bills try to get over the hump, but, like, I'll take Kansas City. I just...
Wow.
Until somebody knocks them off and beats them...
It's the first favorite you've picked.
They had 212 yards. They lost the third down battle. They lost the rush battle. The only battle they won last against Houston was the penalties. Right? But anyway, I'm not going to...
What are you going to say? What are you going to say? Go ahead. You want Joe Mixon this thing real quick?
212 yards, I mean, it looked like, nothing, and they win by 8 or 9 points still. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So until somebody goes in there and you knock Pat Mahomes off and Kelsey's hit his stride, when he came on your program and he said, I feel like I'm 22 again, by God, he looked 22.
We didn't know Caitlin was going to be there, too.
Had no idea. 22.
Yeah, who's number 22?
She might be there again.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Here's some stats from Hembo. James Cook in his 4 playoff games with Joe Brady as offense coordinator. He's averaging 92 scrimmage yards per game on 22 touches, and 53 out of 87 total touches are on first down. James Cook let him cook first. Highest touchdown to interception ratio in playoff history, minimum 300 attempts. Number 1 all-time, Josh Allen.
Okay.
Number 2 all-time, Patrick Mahomes. Chris Jones has only sacked Josh Allen once in their 7 meetings, but he's pressured him 25 times and created 20 incompletions. Wow. While being doubled 55% of the times. Check 95, Mike's 95. Chris Jones, absolute dog. Hollywood Brown was targeted only twice, had 0 catches on 20 routes against Houston. Gonna have to get him back into everything. Amari Cooper just gave an interview for the first time yesterday. Did you hear that?
Yeah. It was impressive.
It was. He was talking about the last game of the season. You're the win or lose. He was talking about the finality, a championship. He said, I've been a part of it 2 times, maybe 3 times. Amari Cooper's won a lot. Remember, Nick Saban told us that throughout his entire time with Amari Cooper as an Alabama football team member, we had 1 conversation.
1, yeah.
He never talked. Super quiet guy, which I think has led some people to believe he's checked out. And Nick Saban's like, he's not checked out. He's very much locked in. He's just quiet. Yep. He gave an interview and he talked about championship mentality and what it takes. He's a full team guy.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper in the Buffalo Bills, perfect. Seemingly a perfect marriage up there. Amari Cooper has been targeted 9 times on 60 routes run across his last 5 games. What's that all about?
I don't know.
What's Josh Allen doing? Give him the ball.
Well, I mean, last week offensively, Josh Allen only threw for 124 yards. Like
just like Pat.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like Jalen.
Right.
Not a lot of pass yards,
You win the turnover battle, 4-0.
And don't expect it, because if they stay in base defense, McDuffie will travel, and I think he'll line up across, from Amari. And take him out. When you go to nickel, then McDuffie goes inside the slot, and that'll be a good one to watch, him and Shakir.
Shakir, yeah.
Because I love Shakir. I mean, he's a Boise State Bronco.
Really?
This sumbitch is a war daddy.
Yeah, he is.
I mean,
Came out of nowhere.
I mean, he catches the ball, and guess what he does?
What's that?
North and south.
Turns upfield.
He doesn't go sideways and get...
Is that because you went to Boise State, you think?
What's that?
Because you went to Boise State. I know he loves Jesus.
I don't know what it's because, but the guy's a dog.
Have to love Jesus at Boise State. Amen.
Facts.
Who's the coach over there?
Spencer Danderson.
Hell of a coach. Hell of a program. Young guy, right? 30 what?
37, 38. I mean, very young.
How old's buddy at Arizona State? 30 what?
Oh, 4?
She's young, right?
Dan Lanning, what's he? 30 what?
38, too, I think.
Marcus Freeman, what's he? 39?
39.
Ryan Day's 45. I mean, there's a youth, and then you got Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Coming in 70.
Walker. Media.
What the fuck?
Jeez.
I'm just Josh, and I love Coach.
Yeah, absolutely love him. Respect him, appreciate him. That's the first favorite you've picked is Kansas City Chiefs. For the last 2 weeks. You went dog.
No. I took Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That was your 1 loss.
Yep.
That's just because you're home.
Oh, so yeah, you just hate the Bills. Yeah. Makes sense.
You don't believe in the Bills.
Well, and the Pagano family is on the Baltimore Ravens and the Washington Commanders.
Why is that?
Well, you coach for the Ravens, and then doesn't your brother coach for the Commies?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
But
we thought we were running a fucking.
No,
Well,
you
anytime
remember,
he does
you remember
this.
during the season when I was sitting right
Yeah,
over
you
there,
would,
and you know who was sitting right here?
Who?
Jelly. First name Jelly, last name
Roll.
Bubba.
Who's down like a 200-pound, looks
amazing.
Way
He's
to
been
go,
doing up
Jelly.
downs on the stage.
Yeah.
Proud
Shout
of
out
you,
to
Jelly.
Jelly, hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Jelly's watching.
But remember we were talking, and then all of a sudden you said, "Hey," and I said, "Wait a sec." You go, "Oh, what?" Remember, and I switched.
Yeah, I remember. That was when we almost got to the whole licking of the butt thing.
Yeah, remember?
That was a bad flop.
I got chewed out after that one.
Yeah, okay, I like that.
Bet you loved it.
Yes, you did. Gnawing on that thing.
Oh
All right.
my God, yum yum yum.
All right, Chuck.
the fuck's wrong with you?
On that note,
Pizza Hut's coming. That's
there
all
you
I'm
go.
thinking about.
No,
Yum
no,
yum
no.
yum.
is it gone? I can sense it's on
And
its
I had
way.
a bone to pick
Something's
from
coming.
last week. Guess what?
What's that?
No
No what?
garlic pepper. Bunch of them
Lemon pepper.
soggy.
Lemon pepper.
Let me
They
pepper.
weren't soggy, old man. Jesus Christ.
Okay. Now you're gonna start. Hold on.
Well, you're taking a shot of pizza.
Yeah, exactly. You're
I mean,
fucking
there were some
basically.
derogatory statements about my nationality earlier.
What'd he
I'm not
say?
gonna
I didn't
What was
say,
that?
What did I say?
Call me a
Get him,
guinea
Chuck.
fuck.
Here you go. You get He did.
I did not.
Yeah, I heard
That's
it.
egregious.
I did hear that.
Come on.
I did
Guinea
not.
fuck. Hey, guinea fuck,
Jeez.
shut the hell up.
Yeah, I did. He did say that.
You can't lie.
I heard it.
okay?
Remember
You
I
can't
said-
lie.
Whoa.
I said, excuse me?
You said, "Am I here? Am I? What is
Like,
this?"
my ears are in.
Yeah, I can hear.
That's a lie. That is a bold-faced lie.
You said it, though.
And I still come out.
I didn't say shit to Chuck.
Tell me looks just like Bruce Willis or whatever his name
You
is.
don't even know Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson.
Jesus, William Wallace.
Couple
You don't
recordings
even
just
know.
like Mel too.
Hold.
Oh,
This guy's lying through his teeth. I never
Die
said that
Hard.
to him.
oh my God. All right. Anyways,
Yeah.
he wasn't talking about you. He was talking about others, I believe. If you.
I don't-
Those words never crossed my lips.
Okay. All right. All right.
Well, I'd like to fact check that. A couple of your homeboys.
Was he talking about guinea pigs? Maybe. I think you said something about guinea pigs.
Nah, I was thinking about vacationing in Papua New Guinea, and then
Oh,
he
yes.
thought that I was
I did hear him say the word. I didn't know what context it was, though. So I just trusted what Chuck said, because Chuck did do an excuse me
Am I not here?
right now. Am I not right here in front of your face?
What's your shit?
Like, really?
That was unbelievable. I didn't like
that's
it.
the name of the country.
And Italian of the year? Like coming on the heels of that?
At the Italian festival, the Italian of the
I mean,
Italian
we're in
festival.
Lake Geneva not 6 months ago.
Unbelievable. And then this guy right in your face talking
disrespect.
Papua New
And
Guinea.
all of a sudden he pops me with that.
I don't like it. I'm not having
Thinking about going
to Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, what do you offer me? Or that other country in the Olympics? Just Guinea.
Just Guinea, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a country. You remember that?
Yeah,
we
they
learned
dominated.
that. We all learned that together. That is a country.
Go see what all those guineas are about over there.
What's that?
You know what?
Name of the people of the country.
Keep it up.
What? It's the name of the people who live there. It's
it
their
up, William.
nationality.
Keep it up, William.
What?
It's a country. It is a country.
Yeah.
Papua New Guinea, and then there's another country.
People who live there are guineas. What? That's what they're.
Guineans.
Yeah.
I think it's just guineas for short.
No, I think what you're
yeah.
doing right now is taking some liberties in the entire thing.
I can't confirm or deny.
I want
if
you to
that's
know
what
I'm
they're
sick
called.
to my stomach. Not over this, but just to the fact that, like, it's 2:45, and we got three games left in the National Football
Yeah,
League.
games.
Three games left.
Tree.
Bullshit.
Two
And
on Sunday, 2 weeks from then.
my last trip to Indy, I'm sick.
This your
'Cause
last
I have
trip
no, I have no. I'll see you in New Orleans, but unless we have an epiphany or something, but I'm sick. I don't know what to do in the
Season's
spring.
over. I know. Me neither. Neither do we. Honestly, that's why we're
What do
doing
you
it.
do? this
you
spring,
know
Chuck?
I'm not
What do you
watching.
do?
You know what he does.
Break down draft.
Wait, ride your bike around Italy with Ray Lewis again?
That was fun.
I'd like to do
Tough
that. I
life.
think we're
Pretty
going to go to
sweet.
Mallorca next.
Oh, bummer.
Wow.
I was just
Spain.
there. It's awesome.
Spain's beautiful, yeah.
Is that yeah?
They have that food, right?
fancy.
Mallorca's like a certain type of food. Where
The
they,
best steak I've ever had in my life.
Paella.
Yeah, I think they do the whole
It
thing.
ain't better than
paella?
Elmo's.
You ever had a good paella?
I don't think so. I went to a Brazilian place this weekend, though.
Fogo de Chao.
Terra Gaucho. Similar.
Fogo's
It is
awesome.
similar.
Similar. It's got the Brazil green light, red light thing. We did it in the afternoon. The wife and I, we went to go to a brunch place, packed. couldn't get in. I don't know what everybody was doing this weekend. It seemed like everybody was out of the house. Then there's this new Brazilian place up north, Terra Gaucho, I believe is what it's called. It's a Brazilian steakhouse one in there. Great.
Okay.
And it was phenomenal.
They don't do like hibachi style, is it?
No, they bring out the swords. They
Yeah.
do. They bring out the meat, and you like kind of grab it or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
With the tongs.
Yeah, and you have the green light, red light. Kind of do your thing. They walk out there. Spanish food is what? Paella, you're saying? Brazilian food, they had good. It was super Brazilian stuff. What's Spanish food? Foxy rolling.
I was eating steak the whole time.
Spain?
Yes.
No, they have that
paella.
shit, don't they? What's
That's rice. It's rice, basically.
Got it. Got it.
You think about empanadas?
Empanadas? I don't know if that's from Spain. Is it from Spain?
Spanish, yeah. It's Spanish dish. For Spain, yeah.
The language Spanish is spoke by a lot of people, I think, right?
Correct.
I don't know. I'm not going to get
I
into
had empanadas there as well.
Okay, so
There
that's
you
a
go.
Spain thing?
Yes.
I always get so confused because, like, the Spanish language, can I say something's Hispanic? Right? Is that what that is?
There's Hispanic food. Like, there's a Hispanic food aisle in the grocery store.
Yeah, and is that like Central America? Like, you know, I never.
It's tough.
See, those from families from Cuba, so I don't.
Yeah, that's a very. I don't know about that, to be honest with you. Hispanic is
interesting.
Hispanic
I do
is
think it's
a
everything.
term used to describe people who are descended from Spanish-speaking populations.
Okay, so Hispanic counts
It's-
everything.
Yes, it does.
Got it. So empanadas are Hispanic.
Okay.
Bingo.
Is
you
what
go.
they would say. Got it. I like
Solve that one.
Hey, same with the Mexican grilled cheese is so much better than ours. Quesadilla.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh. The American grilled cheese, cool. 2 pieces of toast. We do the whole thing.
Also good.
Also good. Solid.
What kind of cheese?
American?
No. You ever done it with Velveeta?
Velveeta cheese?
Yeah.
Charles. Where do they serve that?
Singles or
Retirement home.
Using
Like the
Texas.
slice, like the single
You guys
slice.
know what Velveeta is.
Oh yeah.
What are you talking about, Velveeta singles, or are you talking about?
The block of Velveeta?
No,
Slicing off a piece of the
big
block?
Yeah.
Then you got that little cutter with the wire on it.
Sure.
Put it on there, butter the bread.
Put on the.
Oh, my God.
Put on a thing. Are you
Oh.
using Texas toast? What type of toast are you using?
That's a lot of toast.
Agree?
It is
It's wonderful, but
it
it's
is
a lot
thick
of bread.
toast.
Yeah.
I can't. I
Have some Ovaltine right there next.
Yeah,
to it.
there you go. little applesauce.
Ovaltine's good.
Oh my God.
What is Ovaltine? Chocolate?
Yeah.
It's chocolate milk. I used to drink Ovaltine chocolate milk in high school a lot.
Yeah. Chocolate milk used
Pretty
to be the
good.
big thing. Remember, chocolate milk had a big push. Like, got to chug one of these after a workout. Got
Love
to do this entire thing. I don't know. Are they still pushing chocolate milk?
I don't know if they're pushing it, but it still hits.
No.
So good.
So good.
I love chocolate milk so much at one point in my life that I said I could do the gallon of milk challenge if it was chocolate milk, because how much I love it. And I took it all down, and then I puked up cold chocolate milk.
I bet it was awesome.
Tasted, yeah.
I
I got to enjoy it twice.
Got double.
Yeah, it was still cold coming out of the mouth. That's how.
Oh, so
yeah,
good.
It did not last very long. But that's how much I love chocolate milk at that particular time.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm not in that point anymore. It sounds like you were still there.
I'm not still there where I'm like going in the fridge and I got it, but on like a Sunday.
You're a hot coffee guy now.
Yeah, exactly. This whole week I've been hot coffee. First time really.
Because how cold it is. Normally cold iced coffee.
I'm an iced coffee guy, yeah, through and through. But this week I've kind of dove into the hot coffee and I've loved it.
You know what my wife has brought back into my life here?
What's that?
Hot tea. She likes hot drinks, but she doesn't want to drink as much coffee, so she just hammers coffee because she likes hot drinks. She's like, this is too much, though, caffeine. Then you get the decaf coffee, and it's like, all right, too much of the same flavor. Now she's making hot teas at the house.
Tea's good.
Yeah.
Tea's great.
I love tea. I'll drink
too.
tea.
Vanilla chai tea?
No.
You
Just
ever
green
had it?
tea,
You
black
guys like
tea.
matcha?
English breakfast tea.
You like the matcha?
Oh,
Yeah.
Matcha tea?
The matcha, hot matcha.
I don't know. What is it?
Green.
It's like green, right? Is that
yeah,
green?
It's green. Yeah.
No, it tastes like grass.
You know, basically all
Yeah,
tea
if you
comes
put
from...
sweetener in it,
Yeah, Nick, you're doing it wrong.
I don't want sweet grass.
you put a little maple syrup or honey in that thing,
You know, when you
and the
think...
matcha.
Vanilla chai is delicious.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that...
I
All
might as well
teas
just go to Dairy Queen.
Well, I don't know what's in it. I thought we were just talking tea.
We're talking blizzards? I love
You're
blizzards.
the one saying, add sweetener, add
Right,
sugar.
ice cream cake.
Yeah, because that's a little different, because we're talking hot stuff. But if I'm going to blizzards, hot eats, cool treats, we treat you
Bingo.
like Dairy Queen. I would go with a blizzard, though. I would never get a tea from Dairy Queen.
I'd maybe try it.
You would take a hot tea from Dairy Queen?
Yeah, I'd try it. DQ doesn't make anything bad on the menu, so.
Agreed. I agree with what you're saying. But I don't know if they'd ever open a hot tea thing.
I don't think you could get a hot tea there.
But if they did, it
If
would
they
be
did, I'd try it.
like Pizza Hut.
Exactly.
If Pizza Hut did a hot tea, we understand it'd be good.
I'd get it in
Just
a
like when they did the wine.
Just
And it
like
was
their
delicious.
wine. Boom.
Yeah, that was
so
a hit.
good.
It was.
There was a hit. It was a hit.
Finished it.
On my fucking Pizza Hut wine glass right here.
Is there any left in there?
I wish. No,
I
there's
keep
not.
the bottle opener just to smell it sometimes, just to.
The bottle opener smells?
Yeah, this is the Pizza Hut wine bottle opener.
Yeah, and you can smell it.
Yeah,
Quart?
so, yeah.
Just like Tuscany.
Does smell like Tuscany.
Does remind me of my youth.
Speaking of Tuscany, a man that was born and raised there is going to attempt to win. No, Tuscany. Where's that at?
Italy.
Yeah, Italy. Yeah.
Bingo.
Here you go, Charles.
Ladies and gentlemen, an Italian man is going to attempt to win 30 people $500 on this glorious sports.
Come on, Chuck.
Here we go, Charlie.
Chuck has buried basketball all day today whenever he's gotten the opportunity. Now all he has to do is bury a football into a basketball hoop, and 30 people will win $500. Chuck, how do you feel wearing the Sean Cafferty construction? We know that you worked a deal with this guy to do something around the house. Now you're wearing his hoodie. Is he going to lead you?
The job's already done. He built our home.
Thank you, Sean.
Guys, Boise, he's the best home builder in all of Idaho. He's out of Boise.
Yeah.
He built our home. He's unbelievable.
And I just got a new kitchen.
Well,
And
I think
guess
you already
what,
got
Guppy? He just turned 66 a couple days ago.
Happy birthday, Sean.
Shout out, Sean.
There you go.
Thanks for your work, Sean.
And you guys, when you guys come to Boise and you stay with me,
Yeah.
because I got plenty of room.
I can't wait.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Come, you got your own.
Oh,
You'll
that'll
love
be
it.
awesome.
It'll be in Sean Cafferty's house?
It'll be in Sean Cafferty's built home.
And I do appreciate it's the last week. Got to get this in. I owe Sean the hoodie on the show. I'm going to wear it.
Told him all season I was going to wear his hoodie.
I got this SEC hoodie.
It was his birthday.
And look at the house. Look at the building.
It's cool.
The SEC. I mean, it's a good logo by Sean Cafferty. The guy builds a good estate. Guy builds a good estate.
When they do the insulation, you gotta be around when you build a home.
Okay.
Every step of the way, right?
Gotta keep eyes on these
like
things.
the foundation. That's like these programs, these new coaches. They got to make sure on the front end that culture, that foundation.
Yeah.
It's got to be built on rock.
Yeah.
Not
Snow.
sand.
Not
sand. You put one up on sand. You see those places on the beach?
Yeah. Needs to be built on stone.
Yeah.
Strong.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's a Bible verse
And then
in there somewhere.
the insulation. Oh,
Gosh.
those guys were there for like two weeks.
Get that
And
spray
the
foam, Chuck?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That foam.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Sean
That
Cafferty's
spans.
boys, they know how to spray.
But let me
real
tell you
nice.
something.
Yep.
It's not
They
cheap.
spray their foam everywhere.
It is
not
not
cheap.
cheap. You're right. No, it's not.
It's worth it.
You're head
You
coach
know
of
what
the
it
NFL.
costs to build a house these days?
A little cheaper when you wear a hoodie on a show.
No, that's no.
What's that?
Nah.
This guy's the
The
most
new
humble,
tile was,
most humble guy. If he knew I even had this on, he'd be pissed.
No,
He's
Sean.
like
Sean,
he
you
don't
earned
wanna-
this. Sean.
No,
Oh, Sean.
8 brothers he has.
Holy
in his family grew up.
shit. That's an Irish name? Cafferty?
Yeah, I think
Probably.
so.
That sounds like it.
Sean.
Yeah,
Catholic?
I mean, I feel like I know a Mick Cafferty, so Cafferty.
Sean's an Irish name.
Yeah. So it's an Irish family coming in there working
course.
for you.
Good
Gotta feel
people.
Good. Yeah, it is good people.
You're welcome.
Horse guy too.
Horse guy. Got
Yeah,
horses.
you want to go ride a horse?
Oh, he's
Take
definitely
you through
Irish.
the mountains on a horse.
And
He's got so much money if he's a horse guy. Holy shit.
I don't.
Congrats,
I don't know
Sean. Way
if
to
they're
go.
race- They're not
Definitely
race
from the
horses.
islands.
They're like just.
No, just horses in general are an expensive hobby. Got to take care of this. You got to hire people to take care of it.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's not an Irish gypsy.
Well,
He might be.
I mean, don't run
Hopefully
into
not.
this.
From here.
What's that?
I think I can bear it from right here.
Whoa, in that Sean Cafferty hoodie? 30 people, 500. All right, no, you can't.
Oh.
How about that?
Came out a little wobbly.
What's that all about, Chuck?
Just feel good.
Is that the new one?
Nah, that's the old. That's the OG. That's the OG. We couldn't find enough supplies to get the. This is the new one, yeah. You want to throw that one? Yeah, this one's good.
Better save that.
Yeah, smart. You got this one waiting for you. This one wants to find a home. You're going this way. I don't know. All right, 30 people, $500. Connor has something nice to say about you.
I don't, actually. I said this last week. This whole gimmick it's getting old. Okay, brother?
Which one?
So the whole, hey, Chuck might win. He might make it this week. It's like, dude, just shut up. Get through these balls because you fucking stink at this.
What?
Just try and make one.
I don't
one
like
time.
that. I don't like. That's
Okay?
not the type of vibes we like.
Use that.
You got it. You just got to fire that thing. You think too much about it. So you're
How
going
would
back
you,
to the
how would
mic.
you like to be a ball player and you
Coach.
have an opening and all of a sudden you hear, hey, they just hired Boston Connor. He's the most positive. He'll build you up.
I'm not a Coach K. I'm a Phil Knight. So sue me. That's my style.
Yeah.
Bob Knight.
That's what I meant.
Phil Knight as well. Billionaire.
Phil Knight too. Billionaire.
Accountability.
Yeah, we're talking about Nike.
Get used to being uncomfortable. Is that your
No, that's a Ben Johnson
That's
thing.
Ben Johnson.
Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Mine's I'm going to make you uncomfortable, motherfucker, and see how you perform.
Jeez. This guy's a militant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nonetheless, what he's saying doesn't replicate how we all feel about you. We have nothing but love and respect for you, Chuck. That's why we know when that ball goes in that hoop right over there, 30 people are going to be so happy to win $500. Okay, when the 30... Okay.
See what I'm saying?
He's waffling.
Can't win with this guy, man. Can't do it, won't do it.
This is tough.
Can't do it.
This is tough. My nose is running. I'm
it's
dying
going
slowly in front of everybody. 30 people!
Close again.
That was Baby Duke 2.0.
That one.
That was Baby Duke 2.0. That's a good ball. Yeah. I think this one right here, AJ Hawk has a message for you, Coach.
Chuck, just take everything Conman says. You're just stacking chips on your shoulder. You know. You want to prove him wrong. Let's see it.
That's right.
Fling that thing.
Some players are like that.
Hey, you're
I
rubber.
can't hear you, Chuck. I can't hear you.
Chuck, you're rubber, he's glue. Okay? Everything he says bounces off you.
You
and
got
sticks
me.
to him.
I said I'm collecting receipts.
That's right. Hey.
Okay.
I hope so.
Hey, they tried to write you off. You didn't write back,
No.
Chuck. All you got to do is put that football into that hoop right over there, and 30 people win $500.
I'm gonna do you, con man.
What?
Okay.
Just like,
What the hell?
just like Big Ben's gonna do LaFleur next year.
Geez, Ben Johnson's who he's
Ben.
talking about,
Jeez,
obviously.
old man.
Not,
Keep your pants on.
Oh, okay.
Close
That would have been the one.
again.
That would have been the best one of the year. That would have been the best one of the year.
Guy's always so close.
Close counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, and bocce.
Yeah.
And bocce's obviously a sport that this man is very good at.
Yes.
I'm assuming. I've actually never seen him play. That's kind of on me. He's super Italian. I assume he's good at bocce. Guy can roll a bocce ball. Is that accurate?
We took second.
Okay. Amongst who? Italians or just normal folks?
Big bocce fest that Friday.
Up there in Italy town?
Lake Geneva.
Yeah. This guy won the Italian Man of the Year at the Italian Festival.
Yep.
Took second in the bocce
The
competition.
Prospero family took first.
Well,
Go
They
bocce
suck.
players.
ciao to the Prospero family. The Prospero family. They roll good bocce ball.
They do. They go
Sparrows
plays.
prosper.
Yeah, pass it down through the entire
We
family.
lined up against them. We knew.
You had
They had no
chance.
They
chance.
gabagool on these shoes.
These shoes? You talking about these shoes?
These shoes.
Chuck, 30 people, $500. All you do is put the ball into that hoop right over there. You're the Italian Man of the Year. Will you be the Man of the Year for 30 people who win 500? We knew this one was coming.
That was the one.
Last shot.
We knew this one was
Last shot, Charlie.
Ty Schmidt has a message. Schmitty has a message.
Here you go, Schmitty.
Schmitty!
Schmitty.
Yeah, shout out Shams for that. Charlie, listen. AQ had been you and him are kind of neck and neck for worst at this all year.
Don't forget me.
Yeah, but you're not doing it weekly.
Okay.
They are.
They are. And AQ finally kind of broke the seal yesterday. So if you miss this, you're officially going to go down as not only did you have shitty picks all Thursday,
What?
all year long.
He had some good ones.
He had some good ones early on. You were hot, and then quite the schneid. Lost a lot of people, a lot of money. And then now you have a chance to kind of win that money back. But if you don't make this, we're looking at just an astronomically bad season.
What? I don't think that's. I think he had a great year thus far, no matter what happened.
And I love you. I love you,
That's
Charlie.
Schmitty's thoughts.
You know
there.
that.
That's Big Schmitty's thoughts.
Come on, Schmidt.
You know how good I'm feeling about myself right now.
Absolutely. Walking on air, this
are
guy.
you kidding me?
I hope.
He's got a pocket full of sunshine. Oh, 30 people, $500, Chuck. He might have gone 2-0 in championship picks. We don't know.
He might have.
We'll find out right here. 30. Yeah, never got above the hoop.
Going right at it.
Above the hoop. Never got
Nice try, Charlie. You lose again.
Nerf ball?
Okay.
Didn't even have to put out how many
Pretty
winners.
good.
So close.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Pro Bowl games Duke.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Officially certified by Roger Goodell, NFL ball. Chuck Pagano is an NFL guy. 18 years in college, 18 years in the NFL. But he consulted for the NFL, for the officials, and obviously is part of the 33rd team in the NFL.
Right.
All he has to do is put that ball into that hoop right over there, and 30 people win $500. Tone, how do you feel about it?
Great.
You should. 30 people! Suck it, Connor! Yeah! Yeah!
Make him suck you up, Chuck.
Boom! Boom, bang, suck it. Boom, bang.
Yes.
30 people, $500. And they should all say, grazie to Paisano Chuck Pagano, who is on the Commanders +6 against the Eagles, in the Chiefs -2 in the AFC Championship against the Bills. And he just won 30 people $500. What a season. What a day. We appreciate the hell out of you, Coach.
I love you guys. Thank you for allowing me to be part of this.
We love you, too. All you got to do is repost this post, say something nice to somebody on X, and you could potentially be a winner if you put the easiest way to pay you digitally. 30 people, $500. What a great way to end this. All right, be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. We're in this thing together. Team on me. Team on 3. Chuck, we appreciate you, buddy.
Love you, Chuck.
Good work, Charlie.
Love you, Chuck.
Love you, Chuck.
1, 2, 3. Team. Goodbye.